This is a paid message from the Imperial HoloNet News Service. Hello, entire galaxy. I am Alex Faciane, one of the hosts of the Star Wars Old Canon Book Club podcast on Earth. I just wanted to apologize for briefly hiring notorious conman and thief Large Bumbo into our organization. In my defense, he was posing as an accredited intergalactic lawyer at the time, and all decisions were made in good faith. But I didn't speak Bumbies myself, and I should have done a better background check as part of the hiring process, and that's on me. As an apology, Part 2 of the Star Wars New Canon Book Club archives have now been released, even for free, non-paying members at patreon.com/SWOCBC. Again, that's patreon.com/SWOCBC. Please stop mailing me thermal detonators. Just go listen to episodes of our old show about the Disney Star Wars universe at patreon.com/SWOCBC. Thank you for your time. May the Force be with you, or bright suns, or whatever is most appropriate to say on this big of a stage. Thank you. Please enjoy the show.
The Star Wars Old Canon Book Club is made possible by contributions on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/SWOCBC for ad-free episodes, reading guides, movie and TV episode audio watch-alongs, and more. Today's Old Canon fact of the day comes from Star Wars, The New Essential Guide to Alien Species by Anne Margaret Lewis and Helen Kaya, first published in 2006. Some humans are notable for their unique cultures. One of the most famous is that of Corellian, whose people inhabit the Corellian star system. 25 millennia before the Battle of Yavin, the mysterious species known as the Rakata introduced Corellians to hyperdrive technology, and they quickly created their own more efficient and effective version of it. Today's selection is Star Wars, The Original Marvel Years, Volume 6, a comic book collection by Marvel Comics, whose final issue was first published on May 19th, 2019. Enjoy the show, and may the Force be with you, always.
Chuba.
What?
Guys, welcome back.
Is that like a mid-afternoon nap wake-up?
Yeah,
Mid-afternoon Chuba.
I realized after I made the sound that it sounded a little bit tiki roomy. I don't know.
Like you were a mask waking up to tell us
Yeah.
a story of the islands.
Yeah, or like an animatronic bird that's like racistly tied to just one country somehow.
Sure.
I don't know. Welcome back to Swak Box. We are back. The march towards Thrawn continues, and today I feel so weird because like we've been talking all this time. We're reading Marvel's Star Wars, The Original Marvel Years, Volume 6, which is the conclusion to the original run of Marvel Comics.
However, this is just the first half.
Yeah,
Yes.
this episode is...
This is Deathly Hallows Part 1.
This part of the episode is only the first episode.
Actually, except for, at least for me, this was way more satisfying than that.
But we're gonna do another one immediately after this. We're just breaking it up because it's actually a lot to talk about in one episode. But
And a lot to read if you are as slow as I am.
So it appears, Davis, you like this a lot.
It has a really strong ending.
Okay.
ending?
I agree that
we're going to go, I guess,
Do you
I
mean
didn't mean to like cut off whatever point you were gonna make. By
do you
the way,
mean halfway point when you say ending? Like today?
what
I
we read.
meant of the first 10.
Yeah.
The back 3 or 4 got me really hype. Some of the beginning, it took me like a sec to reacclimate to this era of comics. But now that I guess I'm more media literate for time, I was like, all right, some of the stuff that I don't like is here, but the concepts here are sick. They've got some sick conceptual stuff. Then, because we have to, we got to do the fucking Lasbies and the fucking Zeltrons.
Yeah,
so there's like 2 episodes that I was like, I don't know what to do with. I like absolutely hate this. And then they gave me an issue that is like
the coolest,
perhaps my favorite piece of Star Wars media so far that I read multiple times that I just keep looking at because it's like sick.
Red is a.
You're right. Like I gave it an ocular pat down.
We're all talking about the issue.
Duel with the Dark Lady.
Absolutely no dialogue for several pages.
The whip saber fight.
Okay, yeah. So going into this, the reason why I ask is because it seemed like you're really positive on this. I like the last few issues, but holy crap, the beginning of this, I was like, I hate this. I was so worried because I was like, we are in the darkest timeline of where Star Wars is. Even the art was, at some of the art, I was like, I feel like I'm having a stroke. And then they like clutch last second, just like Darth Maul opening that door. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm in. Let's go. And it got me.
Yeah.
But getting there, I think you're right. I think that's a perfect assessment, Davis, is that I forgot what these comics were. So coming back after taking the time off from them was jarring. I was like,
I had to come online. I had to come online for sure.
The good and bad part of it, is like, and it's why I don't like comics monthly. Like for how my brain works, I can't like retain everything month to month, but when I'm like on it and I break it out and I read it like an issue or 2 issues every day, I get to like not be tired of the things. And so I'm like, okay, I read it. Here's my reaction. And then I'm like writing out my thoughts on everything. And usually there is when I get to coalesce it. So like the stuff that, even some of the earlier stuff that is definitely like, God, this can't be where we're at after like Return of the Jedi. But then I'm like, okay, if I pull out the shenanigans that are probably how they're written, the concepts are fucking tight.
A lot of the shenanigans also are like par for the course of comic books.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think that this is just the tone of comics there. But if you look at what they're saying, some of the stuff...
Comics were better than... There were like completely adult comic books coming out at this time, I will say. Like at this time, we're like getting to the beginning of when that adult push of comics like, the first Dark Knight Returns, Sandman, like stuff for adults started to like come into the comic, like people were taking it seriously as literature.
But that's like late 80s. We're still mid 80s in this right now.
But what I mean is that was starting to come online.
Yeah.
And this is like the sort of like most popular comic book at the time kind of comic book.
So it's got to be kind of broad.
Well, but I was surprised because we've been talking this whole time about the like protoverse or whatever, right? We've been talking about this early continuity. And you're right. I had to adjust. I had the same experience as you guys where the first few issues of this, I was like, what are they doing? Like, what is happening here?
And by the way, we'll talk about that first issue because I think that's the weakest of them all.
We're still going to go through it all.
But like the thing that was interesting is when you talk about protoverse, in my mind, everything we've been doing, everything that it's all been sort of this, no one really understands where Star Wars is going, what it is. And this... We're getting stuff post Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
So you think they would have some better understanding.
Well,
and it's very clear they still don't know what is going on in Star Wars.
I think what we're looking at, and like this, forgive me, this is what I was trying to say at the beginning. I think what we're looking at here is like them. First of all, I do believe the reading level went up a little bit. Maybe I'm just still on the children's TV vibe, but I do believe that in general, there's more words on the pages than there were when we left the Marvel Comics last time.
I agree. Oh, the words per like panel are much higher.
Yeah. I feel,
and then the fact that they decide to use no words, I think is ballsy as well.
We were talking about how the readership was kind of aging up last time too, when we were talking about comics. It just felt like they were writing to a aging audience a little bit, which I think is good. But also, like, from a writing perspective, what's interesting about this, and we're only halfway through it, and I have not read ahead, is that, like, they're taking, like, what they've done is they've dumped out all the toys that they had into, like, a pile now. They've grabbed everything that we've been talking about for, like, 40 issues, and everything's back, you know? Like,
Yes.
everything's back, and they're using it as the pieces to take us somewhere pretty close to where we're going to end up, which I did not expect. I thought the Marvel comics were going to end on, like, some kind of big mission on a spaceship somewhere, and it was just going to be like, man, we should go get some barbecue. You know, like, I thought it was gonna be something like that. But really what we're looking at here over this course is we're only halfway through, but we're looking at Luke sort of having a character growth sort of journey of, like, realizing that he needs to train the new generation of Jedi.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's happening is that the leadership of the rebellion is learning that they're going to need to figure out some way to wrest the galaxy away militarily, in a lot of cases, from
the remnant,
a morally compromised Imperial remnant that's even worse than the previous empire.
But there's an interesting thing here that you're absolutely correct that the big, like, top-down view, yes. My problem is the pieces they've assembled. A lot of those pieces suck.
Like this of stuff that they've worked with, but are we going to end up at the temple? Are we going to end up with, like, characters that pay off in Heir to the Empire?
I will say, watching Luke do, like, a training sesh with people, and they're like, "Teach us the Force, man." He's like, "No."
Yeah.
No. I was like, okay, this kind of rules. I like this.
This is really also interesting because
Plot of Last Jedi, by the way.
Of every one that we've done so far, this is like the most vertical slice of every era. There is some of the old art, old baby writing, and then there is some that is like art that, what's her name? I wrote her name.
Some of it's
Cynthia
definitely,
Kristin,
like,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like, well, she came in on the, like, Small World or Small Wars, which is my least favorite issue probably ever of this.
Not
It's
a
like
fan.
it makes Sean Toots of the Stars almost look good, but it becomes like Sandman-like art, and
Literally,
then the
that
writing
character looks exactly like Sandman. Also.
the like Nagai are like proto-Chiss, the whole, like, and those issues, the writing is serious. There is
Proto-Chiss,
no joke-em-ups.
Proto-Nogri, yeah.
It's like actual, everybody is like
It's trying to be cool.
is like being cool and taken seriously, and you get all of that in one thing. And then the last issue, which is weird because they're like, they do it again where they're like, next issue is called Far, Far Away. Actually, we don't go back to that for like 4 issues. And I was like, fuck,
but that has to do with comicness.
But
yeah.
it's an Al Williamson issue, so you once again get to see the guy that did the movie
it's gorgeous
ones,
art.
and you're like,
It's incredible
Oh,
looking.
it's a whole other
It looks
incredible
like
art.
Mobius now.
Even
It's,
though,
like, different
even though the
even.
writing of that is like back to like, we got a kid and a mother, like, it's all whatever. But I don't know. That was interesting. But yeah, like the proto stuff that they're doing that is like basically Heir to the Empire.
It's getting
is going to run with.
It's getting a lot closer to where we're going than I thought we would.
And
by a
maybe
lot.
that's because that's just the logical next step for everybody.
Well, we'll
but
see.
they are taking it.
We'll see how hard, how literally it's going to be the same.
That guy Den, the dude who looks like Sandman.
Yeah.
I first off had to go look up, one, is that the inspiration for Executor Cedrus? But two, I was like, what's
Or
the deal with
Shizor, or like
Kip
even
Ron?
I was like, okay, but
like mean, but also like intelligent,
Yes.
well-read, kind of poetic villain is like archetyped 1,000 times.
So I went and I was like, all right, I also just need to look up when was the first issue of Sandman. This predates Sandman by 3 years.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, was Sandman inspired by this guy? Like, I
Maybe
genuinely
the
don't know.
look, but also I think at the time that look was like,
Oh, 100%. Yes.
like the cool guy look.
when did Dune come out?
The
Like,
movie? The movie?
The one with by
the David Lynch Dune?
yeah.
Like 1984. Yeah.
That, like, what Sting looks like in that movie.
Yeah.
There
Very
is-
like The Cure.
We'll see more of that.
Yeah.
This like
Exact- we'll
it
see.
is like a look, and I guess who started it, and like
It's goth industrial. Like, have you ever seen
Yes.
like The Witcher?
is that what that's called?
Yeah, it's like The Witcher. Like, it's like that punk. It's like strapped up. It's kind of like kind of almost like
Blade Runner.
you're
Roy
almost
is that look too.
Yeah, you're almost skin tight, but you're kind of like punked out. You're kind of, it's that.
There's several characters in Cyberpunk that look that way.
Yeah, that's how Geralt of Rivia was originally characterized. Also, like characters from that time, this was like the
He does
coolest.
look like that, except for just like make it fantasy more.
Like look at same thing with this princess character. Like
Yeah.
their outfit is kind of like, if it was leather, it would look kind of strapped up, like Eddie Murphy in his comedy specials, or Prince or something. Like there's a vibe to it, and it's real. Yeah, it's the 80s.
I think the last time we had a thing like this was no, I guess it's more goth. But I was gonna say The Crow was like the last
like
kind
kinda
of almost
look.
there.
The Prince, the Dream, I guess was that issue. That was another episode where like the meat of it,
it's cool.
was like I like did not love the way that the character was acting it out, but the implication, the whole concept of the dream state, and then the end of it is that kind of shit that for me is like, you guys are like getting into the scope of the Force, like the actual mysticalness of what it is. And like, I think that's why a lot of these episodes ended or touched on those things. And that's why I came out being like, the stuff that gives my brain fuel for like creativity outlasts the terrible dialogue of this like pretender character that is like, hi, if you want help for your planet, you would never act the way that you're acting every moment. You're like more squall. Everybody's like punished fucking snakes.
Everyone, all the side characters we meet, like it's just.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the Zeltrons. I didn't hate like when they end up being like formidable opponents. That storyline.
That I even wrote in that. I was like, after coming off Small Wars, I was like, dude,
I didn't hate
no
it.
Zeltrons is the best name of the episode because I never want to fucking see them. But by the end, I was like, oh, you actually like played up on our expectations and like they were fine.
I didn't even hate the like little like chibi war. It's just like, it's them using the pieces that they had, but like it's also clear to me that what was editorial was trying to do at the time was the bigger idea, the getting Luke to train Jedi, to talk about the slavers and how the more dark parts of the Empire are going to be what they're going to take out next, that the rebellion is trying to form, but then, schedule. So then here's like a one shot about like some fucking teddy bears fighting some bunny rabbits or whatever.
I mean, I actually liked the fact that when they brought people back, it was literally like, oh, all these characters from previous shit, they're going to be Luke's students. And we're going to do with, I was like, okay.
Like all the cool guys
fun.
came back. Like the like Rick Duel.
Fluke was there. Yeah. Everyone returned.
Yeah, Fluke. All the flukes. All the flukes. The Flan and the Fluke.
Yeah.
I got to say, like, I also think Marvel kind of got an upgrade, like as a printer, like in the 80s. I think there's more color to be had.
It was much more colorful, but some of the art, there's like two issues in particular that the style just changed completely for me, and I was not bought in on that art. I just couldn't.
If it's a month.
Small Wars was the first time that Cynthia did the art, and I was like, this art sucks. The next issue, it was her again, and that's when it was like, I don't know if it was like there was a learning curve on how to get it, but then once they got to the like duel, that shit, I was like,
I think it has to do with what's going on also a little bit.
But if you look at it, like it's not the same art style.
No, of course.
Across those, it does like transition from that to what it becomes, but then when it's there, I'm like,
I don't even think the art style is bad for like
spacey. It's like a different kind of ethereal. It is like.
Yeah, no, they're doing like Mobius now.
It had like almost like a French art style. There's like a whole
Mobius.
different vibe to it.
The first issue also, issue 89 is like beautiful. I don't know what it looks like. Frank Quitely did the art. It's like it wasn't my favorite issue because it's kind of just
content-wise, it's whatever.
It's kind of about nothing. But the art in the first issue is like whoa, like right out the gate, you're like holy shit.
I will say the first. And
cover arts on this one were
black
sick.
art that like
all the cover art
big dude
across
looks
all
awesome.
of these were very
really good.
Yeah. The thing that I laughed about the very first issue was the fact that like it is overtly horny.
Oh my god.
I've never seen Star Wars
That
be
blonde
as
chick, dude.
horny as episode or issue 89 where it was just like
We should just there's so much to talk about. Like let's just go
get into
through
it.
it because then we'll talk about
we'll get
all the
into
stuff.
it was the whole like every alien, if there was a female alien, you were seeing nips through shirts.
Oh yeah. You were getting rape imagery. You're getting bondage.
Oh my god, yes. I was like, what the
it's crazy.
shit?
But
her like
yeah, dude, exactly. Yeah.
the corpse looting image where they're just like it's like
It's crazy what's going on over there. But yeah, let's get into it. The main point that I'm sort of making today is just that I don't think we're going to see it in the Ewoks. I don't think we're going to see it in the comics, the Ewok droid comics. But I do think that maybe by the end of this original Marvel years, we might, like, are these guys going to nail it? Are these guys going to stick the landing? Is this going to, like, literally seamlessly lead into Heir to the Empire, and the only thing that happened is there's a time jump in real life?
I will say, there are things in this, and this is no spoil for David, I'm not going to, but you, I think, would know this, Alex. There are characters featured in this run that we read that play exclusive roles later on.
Dude, I clocked that also.
Major.
Yeah, very important characters.
Yeah, the minute we got a reveal on a name, I was like, brother, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think they, I think maybe the line between these two eras is not as rigid as I was imagining because it's just how tonally different it is. But I think the threads are there. Anyway, Star Wars episode 89, issue 89 is called I'll See You in the Throne Room. The galaxy is just absolutely reeling because the Emperor is dead. Luke is on Soleil, which has 10 suns, which is crazy. And they're looking for
I forgot about that. I remember thinking 10 suns is a lot of suns.
That's too much.
Yeah.
I was like, this doesn't make it.
Maybe they're really small. But
This issue gave the nitpick Davis so much.
Yeah.
Where I was like,
I love
no,
talking about
sorry, like 10 suns?
details.
Fuck
10
off.
is crazy.
Soleil, though.
And
At least they know.
also, the king of the planet makes no sense.
He's like
He's like a hobgoblin. Just like visually, you're
On
like,
the
you've been
edges
the,
of the
you've been the king of this
galaxy.
planet forever, but you like are junk guy.
He
but
looks
your
like a Warhammer
crown is
orc
the most
almost.
ornate crown. I'm just like,
He's just a Superman
I get
villain.
It.
He's just
You
a
were like-
Superman villain. He's
You're
just
just
like
throwing it away. But for me, I'm like,
a dickhead
no
in space.
thought was put into
dickhead
this.
in space.
Also, I want to just give a shout out to my man Raggold. This old ass man who's
Raggold is his name too, which is
he's
hilarious.
Like trying to help Luke and Mary, I guess, is the blonde's name.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, her name's just straight up Mary. Which
And they're
is
trying to
hilarious.
overthrow the king. But Raggold is just he's so old that when he dies trying to help them, the shots of him dying,
He looks like he died of old age.
he looks not like 70 or 80, but like 105.
Yeah.
The man has wrinkles where there's never been wrinkles. It's crazy.
And Luke
looking.
is
he
like
looks like
not-
characters that in comics got their like life force sucked dry.
Yes!
He looks like Lando with the crystals.
crazy.
It's like he was like a 30 or 40-year-old man, and then like an energy vampire
Yes, he chose
sucked
poorly.
his like
Luke is so out of character in this. Also,
You mean like
he's like
Splinter the Mind's Eye punished Snake?
yeah, he's like full wormy right here. But so before Raggold dies, who basically is so old that he doesn't remember what the cause is.
Yeah.
He tells Luke that he was killed by someone from their own army who's a traitor, and so that's what he's trying to figure out.
Luke's like, I have to find the traitor.
And so they lay Raggold to rest in the throne room, and they see Blackheart, the like big giant red metallic cyborg, like warlord king.
Just looks
he's
like
just a space. He's like another Thanos. He's like another
he's red.
Mongol. You know,
Yeah.
he's just dark side, except not cool or interesting. Just a big buff guy who apparently lives a really long time and can become the king of any world that he lands on because he's really strong.
he has I just don't. He looks like an idiot, but he like talks about wanting to go get crowns and thrones
Yeah.
and nice things, and you're like,
It's like
I get it, you want to bruise her,
barbarian
but you're like a
vibes, yeah.
dumbass. But you like I don't know. Yeah.
so
With
he's
that
talking
said, like
shit.
his design, all right. Every other alien design in this kind of rocked.
Yeah.
They went out.
Blackheart also looks awesome. It's not like, I wouldn't draw that if I drew a king, but he looks cool.
But
as
they
a
did
heavy.
like a bunch, all the different aliens when they go to different, like the bars and the
that
background.
fucking lizard that was like,
Yes, they look. But with that said, every alien looks crazy. However, if it's an alien woman,
just
her
a
tits
human,
are out.
a human with tits out,
we're in
multicolored woman with her tits out.
this issue is back in the like Flash Gordon
Exactly.
era, but the art is like
Amazing.
nicer.
It's so good.
I wrote.
So like all
it's
those
He-Man.
aliens are not. Oh, actually no. Actually, you're right. It's exactly He-Man.
Yeah.
Which is that. It's like,
Same
oh,
vibe.
let's take that, but buffer based on 80s physique ideas. Yeah, so like, not a one of these aliens is one you've ever seen in Star Wars, and they're all shirtless. Like,
Yeah.
but
It's
it looks like
a
sick for
dream. It's like a weird like testosterone dream for Luke. It's like, I don't know. I think that's why they all look like this. I don't know. Basically, Luke's like, you killed the king. And Blackheart's like, no, I did not. And Mary's like, come on, like, don't, like.
Come on, Luke.
Yeah, like, come on.
Let's
like,
go make out
stop.
somewhere.
And he's like, oh, okay. You're so hot. I don't know what to do.
The entire time he's like, God damn, look at her.
he's
She's
like,
gorgeous.
fuck.
He's horny as Everything about this issue is horny.
He is really weird in that, like, this is after the Empire is over.
He
but
says something
looks
crazy, too.
Like he's in the New Hope era.
Yeah.
He is, like, forgotten everything. He, like, wants to murder.
has
And he's
an
seen everything,
insane-
and this Mary has to explain to him human...
There's a line-
Or, like, whatever, because he's, like... He basically, like, liberates this, and people are, like, their first thing is, like, let's loot it! Let's murder, or whatever. And she's like... They've never been free. They have to be free to make these choices.
He's like, okay. There's a line where he's like in the bottom right corner of one of the things where I think she gets shot, where he's like, he says something that is like completely against his character in a way that is so funny. But basically, they're talking about, yes, they have never seen freedom before, so you got to let them make mistakes. But Luke's like, what? But what about the traitor? And she's like, the killing was it. The traitor is probably done. Like, don't do revenge. And he's like, what? She's so brave and beautiful. She's so fucking right. How could I be so gross? What's wrong with me? And then they keep walking around. They see somebody robbing. And he's like, well, he fought to rob. And he's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But like, fuck. I want to fuck her. And so that's like literally what's
That is absolutely everything Alex just said. It's a series of like, wow.
It sounds
she's
like
so
I'm,
hot.
It sounds like I'm
she needs to
overdoing
see
it.
my dick. Like
I am
that's
not
the
overdoing
entire issue.
He says he's completely like in love with her.
Yeah.
And is not Luke in any other way.
He's like, what is going on? We need to do this. She's like, no, just kiss. He's like, he gets like mind controlled by kissing. He's like, let's get out of here. They're like making eyes at each other. He decides that he's gonna like take a break and go have sex with this girl, and then out of nowhere, the sky gets like super beautiful. A fleet appears. Mary's on her way to Luke. Luke watches her get shot,
She
and
gets
then he's
blasted by Starfire.
He literally reaches out of the comic book to stop her, which he can't do because that's impossible.
She gets not like comically, not just like shot by like a dude.
She gets platooned.
yes.
Yeah, she gets like shot by everyone, and then also like chained up somehow real quick. And he's
Oh no, they're like ripping off her her
she gets
jewelry.
blasted.
They're like stepping on her. It's
Luke's like, ah! And then he like in the corner.
it's like actually
townsfolk
he's like
go
no,
one- go
and it's
one
like
more.
crazy.
Go one more. He says like, he said like, what is he saying right there? Will you read that line?
Oh my god! I even took pictures of this because it's so
like the
crazy.
craziest thing. Yeah.
No, I want you to. I want you alive, Luke. Save the world for me, okay? Don't go. Live, Mary. No, I want her alive. I want to heal. What good is the Force now? It's not good enough. I wish I were a god.
That
Like,
literally
what?
it's like Anakin shit.
Yeah.
which
Like
is
what the
crazy.
fuck are you
So much
talking
stuff
about?
has happened that I like forgot. I like took a picture of this and forgot to add it into my notes. But it's like Charlton Heston doing a monologue.
Yeah.
It's so
There's
fucking
something
weird.
there's something very weird also that happens next where like the entire mood of the planet shifts.
Completely changes.
Because now, okay, so the logic was originally they just got free. They've been fighting their whole lives to be free. Let them do whatever they want for a minute.
then
So
he
that-
watches them loot her corpse.
Yeah, and then he's like,
I'll burn this
and then
place
he's
to the
like,
ground.
he's like, okay, like now they know that the Empire's back and that they're gonna be in chains again soon. So now it's like Rumspringa. Mm-hmm. But that said, there's already, even though they weren't free to steal before, there's like a super child called Scamp who's like the king of the thieves.
It's like
a little redheaded
Peter Pan meets that
yes.
doll with the red.
He's
like
he looks like he's gonna be some kind of weird villain. He ends up being like the most morally sound person and like has stuff to teach Luke about like fighting for what's right.
Chucky
and, like,
Peter
being a
Pan,
good-
like
yeah.
a
With the
Raggedy
yellow
Ann
eyes,
Peter
it's
Pan
like-
is exactly it.
it's
fucked
so.
up.
This is like so weird.
So
Out
this
of
is
left field.
Weirdest.
he's like, you're just a kid. He's like, don't worry about it. Come with me. And then he like takes him to a
In
strip
Peter
club.
Pan clothes, drags gold coins around like it's
Takes
fucking
Luke to
weird.
a strip club and he's like, oh, sorry, Mr. Scamp.
This ain't a strip club, dude. This is a.
It's like
fuck
an orgy
house.
house. It's like
Yeah,
an orgy
like a
house.
full-on
It's like a brothel, but it's like open area
Yeah.
only.
Luke interrogates this like shirtless dude, like uses the Force, like Force chokes coins out of him to try and get info on Raggold. It's crazy. And then Mary, just the fact that she was so hot, like, reminds him to chill out and that he, like, needs to let them do what they do or something. I don't really get it, but it's working for Luke, whatever. Luke and Scamp go to the spaceport. Blackheart is there again because he just broke out of prison and he's trying to escape the planet. He doesn't have anything to do with anything. He doesn't want anything to do with this. He asks Blackheart about the traitors again, but Blackheart, like, hits him so hard that he should have died. And then Blackheart is like pissed now and is like goes beast mode, and Luke is like fine. He's asking him about
the coolest shit is just Luke straight up like not even with the saber
art,
kicking
amazing
the shit
art
out of him,
yeah.
and like doing like the like double leg drop and like knocking his
truly like fighting game level moves, like cooler than Masters of Terrascasi even. Just kidding.
I think actually not. I think there's a lot of Echidna, like there's a lot of Luke having tight moments that make me sort of like look past.
The art never is bad.
In at least every episode that he's in, he does a cool thing in a stupid situation where I'm like, that's my Luke.
So Scamp tells Luke he needs to go after the king to get his answers and gives him a backpack with a cord that like
nuts.
I don't know what happens. He like gives him like a magic elevator jetpack that shoots him right where he needs to go.
He launches.
He shoots up into the air, and then
the
it's
most
like
manic. It's like some of this shit is just nonsense. Like they're like, up, he's jumping up. One panel later, you're flying in a jetpack.
he shoots up into the air, and it's like
a
a
character
launch.
remarks on like, it's like, wow, that's crazy.
It's like a launch trampoline for wings. It's a launch trampoline for
right.
wings.
It looks like a rocket, and then like maybe 2 panels later, wings. He's like, oh, it's actually wings.
Yeah, and
I'm
he
like,
uses
wait,
it.
what?
He uses it to like fight a spaceship with a lightsaber because he has wings now, and that's kind of cool. Except the spaceship looks like Flash Gordon.
It's so weird that we got here, but I would be lying if I didn't say like
It looks
Batman glider wings with
Yeah.
a lightsaber fight isn't.
It looks
pretty
like
sick.
it looks like Marvin the Martian spaceship that Bugs Bunny like
Yes.
digs into, but I don't know. Other than that, it's cool. Then Luke is like having this like internal thing because he's so mad at himself, and he's found out that like Blackheart doesn't know anything about anything. He shows him what happened. He shows him that Raggold like killed himself because he couldn't live with the fact that he was selling everybody out to the rebels or to the Empire. I mean, which is crazy that their hero was the traitor.
Also,
like,
there's no indication at any point that that's what occurred.
because like if he's the traitor, like why does he lead them to victory? I don't get it.
He dies leading them to victory, which is crazy.
He kills himself leading them to victory, which doesn't make any sense.
It felt like one of those like reveal that's supposed to be some sort of aha, but doesn't. You're just sort of left being like, what?
Yeah, if you read
Also,
through it again, you're not going to get it like, oh, I see now. It's not there.
This is not. Sometimes I feel like you're the person that's always like, sometimes you just have to get an issue out.
Yeah.
And it's like all the motivations, all the circumstances are like, don't think about it. Like Mary, for a while, I'm like, okay, so Mary's the traitor because she's so much like, don't worry about.
Yeah, I
don't
thought it
worry
was
about
her the whole
revenge.
time.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like somebody high up just murdered our like the leader of this movement. Like we should find out who. That seems pretty important. And then she's like, no.
Yeah.
Freedom. And then she just actually was like a really good person and she died. And then he just was like, yeah, I wanted the money and now I've died.
Yeah, and
So I have
Scamp's
to live with it.
like, dude, like, calm down. Like, you need to think about your point of view a little bit more. Like, you're like I'm actually like really wise, and like the truth of what's happening depends on like your own point of view. And Luke's like, wow, Scamp, you're right. I'm being an idiot. Here, let me help you put away the shit that you stole in your house. And he's like,
And then there's like 3 other scamps.
Yeah.
Like,
This is the weirdest.
it turns out he's
There's like a
the
caveman.
breadwinner. He's like the homeless breadwinner. I don't know. And
they're like, Scamp, you're back.
his dad's like, that's not enough money. And Scamp's like, see, everybody has their problems. And you're like, what the fuck?
Luke's like, yeah, I had a complicated dad thing too.
Yeah.
We're all the same, Scamp.
Yeah.
You and me.
It's
And the Lasbies and the Zeltrons.
so fucking
the
weird.
little hairless rabbits.
Yes.
And
that are
And those
crucial
red
members of
girls
the
that
rebel.
just want to bone down.
Those are
yeah.
Zeltrons. I already
So
said that.
so
They
yeah.
love me.
So in the end, Scamp takes him to see that Raggold kills himself, and Luke's like, I need to start facing the consequences of my actions also, and like being a more balanced person.
So question for you.
The actual kind of cool guy, the alien here, where he like to get the information.
Loved this guy. The Grinch?
He looks like
the
Grinch
Grinch.
or like Oscar the Grouch
Onceler?
if
Yeah.
his trash can was a really cool wheelchair.
Yeah. And he
then
did a lot of
Then he
drugs.
has to like do one of those like eat this, and it's like a scorpion. He has to like show that he's not afraid.
Yeah.
To like get the stuff.
For the record, this is the special issue. Like the bonus one, because it does not feel in order at all.
No, it is
with
not.
anything else.
It is not the bonus one. It is just a.
It also felt twice as long.
It's just a one shot, and one of the issues is really long. I can't remember which one it is. It might be number 90. I can't remember. One of them is like 50 pages. One of them is like a double issue.
Like this one felt very long.
But the one that's the one from 2019 is
That's the last.
it's
one.
number 108. Yeah, so that'll be next time. All in all, maybe the best art in this entire issue. In some ways, I think, but story-wise, absolutely all over the place and like totally mischaracterizes Luke. That felt like it was a plot for somebody else originally. It didn't work right to me.
I think this one feels creative. It doesn't feel Star Wars at all.
It's setting up that Luke is having conflicts and they're trying to like.
But we never return to this Luke ever again.
We're never gonna see him again. We're never gonna
He's
talk to this
definitely
planet.
his overarching story of these issues is definitely that he's conflicted, but I don't know that. I think they probably gave them like very light guidance to make Luke conflicted about the Force and whether or not he's somebody.
It feels like they didn't watch the third movie. I'll be honest.
The point is to make him feel like he shouldn't be teaching people.
They kind of nail post movie Luke in every other issue where it's like everyone's even like, I'm really sorry I killed that guy Luke. Like they already know that Luke now does not want to kill,
right?
And that he like is trying to bring out the best in other people.
Well, Luke's like, but you had to,
and he's like concerned about being able to teach people properly because he knows how it goes. This is like wants to kill. Like this is
not
really
necessary. This is not a necessary part of that other arc, but it is just a one shot that has that in it.
Well, from my read of it, the only thing that comes forward is that they create this like the Remnant is like more organized and there's more things going on than we're led to believe, and then later we find out they're like partnering within the guy.
It's less that they've like organized as like the Imperial Remnant, and more that like we're so soon after Return of the Jedi still that like stuff is like not even. Nope. Some people have just continued to be under Imperial control this whole time and still are, and so that's where we're at. Like we're in like the proto New Republic right now, because the New Republic has not been named and has not quite been figured out in terms of like how the government works.
I mean, yeah, the next couple issues, literally, that's all of Leia and Mon Mothma being like, "What do we even?"
Well, but I mean,
here?
even halfway through the trade where we're at, like I feel like they're getting to a point where they're starting to see how the government
they're
should
trying
be.
to figure it out. Yeah. It's very clearly like early days, probably first month instead of first year post Return of the Jedi.
And then the next couple.
The other thing about this, like, the positive things I have to say about like that I found interesting about like what they were trying to get to don't make sense because Luke has already learned all this and in fact was like the one that was attached to like Leia to be like, you have to understand, princess, like people are real people and they have these other things. So it was kind of weird to be like, but maybe because I just did the episode on Chilluminati about the guy that's like basically just was like, this is what people actually are. That the idea of like they're free now, so they are free to now be as shitty as they want to be instead of being forced to do whatever is like an interesting concept. It's just handled so
It would not be where I
interestingly, like that they're just like in your face, right? Like a brothel, and the guy's like, "Hey, you don't judge me. I get to come do this because I like it or whatever."
It's also
like
funny that the only reason
heavy-handed.
the only reason that Luke is not looking into it further is because he's so horny.
Well,
which is like a weird.
There's there's a potentially interesting story that they don't cover, which is there's this woman that Luke is into, and she's like, hey, you have to let these people discover how they want to lead themselves, and you can't force something on them. And then she's brutally murdered by, after she's killed, those people that she's defending loot her corpse.
Yeah.
They like, and so I can see like, okay, I can see that being a compelling story of this person who's like, you have to let these people do the thing, and then the people let Luke down. But that's not really what happens.
They kind of retold this story in that Rancor Nuggets book.
The
one where the girl gets killed off
a
grenade.
I feel like these ideas are like not even new.
Luke being challenged by like being a person and having to like find balance again. It is a good Luke story from before the end of the trilogy, but I just feel like
But like if this was issue 12 of an arc,
Yeah.
and it was like Luke and Mary, and we got to see their
Yes,
relationship
yes.
grow, and it was a thing,
Yes.
and then she's killed, and then everything she said is turned back, turns out, boy, the people of this place, I can't rely on them at all. It would test Luke as a person. You could do a thing with it. This is just one.
it's a one-off.
issue,
Yeah, it's a one-shot.
and
yeah.
it like
they don't have the space in 20
Yeah, it's
pages
not-
to set her up. Yeah. It's very, very unfortunate, but also like not uncommon to like be like, man, these last 3 weeks that nobody's written a comic about has been
Right.
crazy. But that's how it is. From now on, we're going to like, I'm still going to go through, but like, I'm going to try and like not stop too much between the issues until we finish the plots. If you know what I'm saying?
they flow together pretty well.
Yeah. So this one's number 90. This is the choice. They're on Endor. Mothma and Leia are back from traveling. C-3PO is excited that everything's going well. They want to talk about stuff that's going on, but Leia can't think because she's worried about where Luke is. And then Luke shows up and they're talking about the Imperial remnants and like that it exists. And Mothma's like, yeah, it does exist. It's kind of sucky. And then Leia shows up to Luke because they're excited to talk to each other. But it doesn't matter right now because also guess who's here? Rick Duel and Cheeto,
And Danny.
the fake Han Solo and Chewbacca with the Rodian, and then Danny the Zeltron, the like hot babe Zeltron who wants to fuck Luke the whole
And I
time.
love that Leia still hates that girl.
Yeah,
She's
she's
this
absolutely
bitch.
racist against Zeltrons
her
in general.
hatred is not just to Danny. She like
It's all Zeltrons.
hates the Zeltrons specifically more than anybody else.
Yes.
She got
and
a
like,
little.
I feel like her where you're like, we shouldn't have Zeltron ruin everything.
but you know what?
And everyone's
It
like,
turned out-
wow, you're pretty racist. I
Turned
didn't
out
know
she
that
was
about you,
she was
Leia.
being prejudiced and she didn't know what she was talking about.
And
but-
Kiro's back.
Yeah, he wants to keep them off
like
the
Kiro.
streets.
Fluke.
'Cause his
Everyone
armor.
loves Fluke.
They were just chilling, I guess, last issue. Rick and Cheeto and Danny. I don't know where they were at when Luke was crying about Mary, but I guess they were around. No idea. Leia hates Danny. She gets hugged, and Kiro comes out of a crate.
That image, by the way,
Yeah.
of Danny hugging Leia rocks.
Yeah.
It's so good.
She's
That art's so
she's
funny.
Not happy about
Her
it.
face, like they just do a very good
Yes.
face
Again,
for
though, art
her being
different.
like one eye squinted, just like
I
really
do
not
not
into
like
being
this.
hugged.
Yes. Yeah.
Art different, but still very good art. Like nice and like detailed and beautiful and like top tier Marvel art of the era. But you find out also that Kiro's there, the Waterman Fluke with the big eyes,
We love Fluke.
and the Ewoks are like, "Ooh, what's going on?" And they're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And then
being
Cliff-
carried by Jokers from the '89 Batman movies outfits.
yeah, and then
Yes.
Cliff explains to everybody that if you don't remember, this motherfucker actually saved the entire universe recently, so he's a hero.
I like.
It's
thank
true.
God for that to just remind me of where we were at with him. But
Yeah.
that
true, though.
implication that it's like, oh, by the way, Fluke Skywalker actually did the most saving of the entire universe.
Well,
of
but he
anybody
was inspired by Luke,
ever.
so he was inspired by Luke, so
Yeah.
Also, our boy Fluke, Hero, just looks like Aquaman in this issue.
dude, he's so
They give him the green underwear and like the gold skin, and they're like, "Fuck it, he's Aquaman."
you get it, yeah.
It's crazy.
Luke and Leia-
These issues, and especially later, he just does. He becomes Luke.
Yes.
And Luke becomes Obi-Wan.
Yes.
They literally just do a New Hope on the Death Star, but like switching roles. It's crazy.
Yeah, really, really quickly, which is, I think, kind of
Intentional.
fun. No, I think fun too. Like, I don't think it like, oh, you should have spent more time. It just kind of works. We get it.
It
Yeah.
also works because it deals with Luke's whole thought about not being ready to train, and then the last thing we see with him is being like, "Hey, after this,
We're gonna be Jedi. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try and train you." Like, it does make sense that he kind of goes through the motions of Obi-Wan and then does it.
But I think that's like all these characters are going through. Like Leia, I love the fact that in this issue, the conceit of Leia is like, I do not want to be a senator.
Yeah.
I do not want to be a princess. I'm like a rebel, and I've always been a
they're
rebel.
talking
And I
about
like
leadership's the right place for like warriors.
Yeah, she's like, I liked when I ran around and was like sneaking and shooting, and now they're like, all right, let's have a meeting. And she's like, I hate this shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
kind of love
the-
that. I love that.
This that was like what I found more interesting. Again, the concepts of these, like one, them actually like talking about where they stand with Darth Vader, like the legacy, because I didn't really think about it not being open until we read like Bloodlines. Like I just assumed everyone knew because Anakin Skywalker was like a famous Jedi Knight. He's Luke Skywalker. I don't know.
I don't actually know what the score is in the old canon.
They do a pretty good job here of explaining it, and now being an adult and seeing how like actual dumb people are in about political things in real life. Like before I'd be like, no, they wouldn't be this way. And I'd be like, actually, I totally understand why you would not share that information, because people would not. He's even like, nobody cares that Vader, like literally he's like, nobody cares that Vader killed the Emperor. Like everyone still thinks Vader is the guy, because Vader is the guy that they think, well, he did do everything.
Right.
They don't know the Emperor was more powerful or more evil.
They just know he's an old man.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. So
there's also, I'm trying to think, I don't know if it's ever, like, I feel like Bloodlines was the first time they brought it up as like a concept, but I don't know that anyone, maybe that asshole.
Except we're seeing it here.
Yeah, that like asshole Bothan guy.
It's gotta be in the fucking comics or something.
The dude who is like on the Senate, who's always a thorn in Leia's side, that guy.
Borsk Phala.
Yeah, if there's anyone, it would be him.
Could be.
But I don't know that he ever did. I feel like they literally are like, we don't need to touch that. We're going to keep moving on.
We'll see. I mean, that's something I could really see breaking out quickly.
It's really interesting the way that they play with it, with all the people that come back. Like, oh crap, I can't remember the name of the guy that was from the annual that was like trained by Darth Vader. All of his pupils that we've seen that come back.
His name's like Kent or some shit.
Yeah, like Luke kind of like talks to both of them and like tells them about it, and it works for one. We'll see how it works for the other. But and then even this legacy idea with Han comes back, like this theme of I don't really want to be paraded around.
Right.
Like I want to do stuff that's like meaningful, is a cool thing, even though a lot of times that we have to deal with like the Zeltrons and the Hoojibs and everybody else.
So Kiro needs a helmet, but they're talking. He's talking about how he didn't think he was going to live. Luke talks about how they saved him. He asks Kiro how he knew how to do stuff when he was in the thick of it and trying to save the world and stuff. And Kiro's kind of like, yo, I think maybe it was the Force. And Luke's like, yo, was it the Force? And Kiro's like, yeah, I think it was the Force. And he's like, will you make me a Jedi? And Luke's like, no way, bro.
Kiro is like,
yeah, Kiro pulls a fin.
The amount of hard cut to like storming off like a little baby from everybody that doesn't immediately get what they want from a fledgling rebellion that is still the capital of it is the moon. Like, they're just hanging out in Ewok Town.
Kiro explains that it's like his whole life, he like fights hard for people, gives them everything, and then he asks for one thing, and they tell him no.
I guess he has like he does
literally
have some fins to stand on.
He literally did save,
because he was like,
get this guy out of here.
I was like kicked out of my planet. Like he's like
he literally did save
give it up
everyone.
This.
He saved the entire universe.
You're right. If we just take this as seriously as any other piece of canon, he's the fucking hero of the universe.
But he's not out of line. He's not out of line asking for Jedi training.
It's just immediately to be like,
it's the first conference of the Free Peoples. Mothma is there. And they're trying to figure out how to stay.
A whole slew of absolutely crazy looking aliens.
They're trying to figure out how to stay free. Luke and Leia and the droids are going back to the village. Leia tells Luke not to feel too bad about Kiro being mad because, Kiro, he didn't deserve that, Luke says, but he also doesn't want to mess with it right now.
Luke is literally having terrifying dreams.
He's having dreams.
Is having moments.
He's having dreams that he sees Vader in the night and that he can't look at his face, and he keeps seeing soldiers everywhere and thinking that like pretty soon we're just going to be like in a place with a bunch of soldiers and no war and no discipline and there's nothing. It's going to be kind of bad.
That's kind of that's another cool concept where you're like, this is always an issue where it's like, if you have a bunch of people that are like fighters, or in this case, they're like used to be criminals, and you have nothing, no training, nothing, no schedule or anything, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, the note I wrote for this issue was literally, it reminds me of that episode of Band of Brothers where after the fighting's done and they're all just like getting drunk and rowdy and like people die.
Yeah, it's
The war,
brutal.
no one's fighting anymore and people are still dying because there's no,
There's
everyone's
no like, all right, let's stop because everybody's still mad. But then Rick is like too good at cards, Rick Duel, and so he gets accused of cheating. And then Kiro's like, Rick wouldn't cheat. He would absolutely clown on you if he cheated. And then somebody calls him a fish man, and Cheeto pulls a gun, and then somebody else pulls a gun and shoots Cheeto off a bridge.
It was like a tonal whiplash from silliness to somebody just like acing, almost killing him, and he like falls off. Like you're like,
shoots him off a bridge. Luke catches him with the Force. Rick is absolutely pissed, calls them flaming jerks, and they're like, "You're the flaming jerks," which is pretty serious for a Marvel comic. And then they fight, and then Danny jumps in, and then Leia's watching it happen. The Ewoks want to jump in, and she's like, "No, don't get in there." And then a laser like shoots over towards them, and like Luke is pissed off and uses the Force.
By the way, these are just rebels. These aren't like bad guys. These are just dudes who got in a fight over gambling. And I thought, honestly, kind of fucking cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, and then Luke flies up to like stop them. And he uses his lightsaber to like ricochet the beams at everybody. And one of the guys like tries to get away, but Luke like does like a cool jump thing.
this is the shit that I love, where it's like Luke now is the answer. You're like, everyone's fucking up, and he's like, don't do that. You can't. I'm so much more powerful than you. Shut the fuck up.
Can you feel the muscle tension?
Because like, I don't know, it's a power fantasy. I don't know, like Luke being this like good guy, it's cool. It's sick to me. Even if
I think
the shit that they're saying and other stuff is like kind of silly and weird. I love Luke.
It's just so funny how different, like where Luke sits in our minds. Like to me, I think about Luke as sort of like an old man, and it's just funny, like thinking about him as like,
no, that's Jake Skywalker.
Like just thinking about like a cool guy. Like it's just funny. It's been a long time since Luke was the main character for me, and it's always funny like running into him again. I'm excited so much for the Jedi Academy. Anyway, in the other room, Mothma says that, like, because Luke and Leia and Chewie and Lando, like the main characters, because they're not around during the council and they don't seem interested in that.
Well, they aren't going to be a part of the government.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest, like, ending the thing. Like, well, we said if you're not here now, you don't get to be part of the ruling council. Like, as though there wasn't a legitimate reason for that, or like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't even come back.
Not really. It does.
Except
it does
for one
come back.
time.
It does come back.
But they make it be like, this is a serious ending. And then one time they're like,
I think they are going to like address it.
I guess.
Yeah. I think it's building. Like Han seems kind of.
It's
like,
a heavy-handed way to do a good idea, which they sort of touch on later, where they're like, hi, it's not a rebellion. You don't get to just do what you want to anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to like, there's procedure.
There is going to be a government after the Empire. It's just going to be better.
The other thing that was really interesting is like, again, the concepts in this, like the father stuff, that nobody will care that it was like Darth Vader being a figurehead versus being a fighter. And then the other thing that Leia like talks about, I think in this one that's really interesting, is she's like, there's so many people that didn't do fucking shit, that are smug bastards that have no respect for like what it took to get here. And I feel her righteous fury at being like, you didn't do anything. You ventured nothing. You're just like, well, you want my world, huh? Well, whatever.
What can we do? But that's how it's going to be. That's like, because the whole point of it is like the rebellion now has to like turn to the people that weren't in the rebellion and help them.
There's a really, I mean, I'm just normally obsessed with the human condition, but again, from doing Chilluminati and talking about it, these issues, more than the other ones, are about the like just selfishness and short-sightedness of people, particularly though, I guess, for the rebels, you have gone through it, so you really understand how it is. But other than that, it's like, how do you govern people? Because people don't give a shit. They really are just self-interested.
They just want to get a PlayStation and play the new game and hang out and eat some chicken.
There's one thing I wish that either in the new canon or the old canon, just in general, that I wish they would delve into is, and they kind of hint at it here, the idea of, okay, we are a new government there is some stuff still going on in the galaxy that we need to protect ourselves from. Like, we need a military force that can protect us. But it seems like in the new canon they did this. They really did it. They went heavy-handed, being like, we destroyed our military. But in this, same vibe of like, all the people who did no work in the actual rebellion are like, guys, why do we need a military? Like, if we just all hold hands and get along together, the galaxy will be fine.
That'll be chill.
And Leia's like, what are you talking about?
Like, no.
And I love that it's still a through line. I just wish we got like a moment in a book where they really had that conversation of like, what do you mean? There's always going to be a threat to the peace. We need something to
got
protect
there
it.
in the new canon.
Weirdly, Bloodlines again touches on all of this.
Yeah.
Next, we have Wookiee World 91, Star Wars 91, where they get to Kashyyyk, which it's like in China when they like change the pronunciation of everything for the Western languages every once in a while to make it more accurate.
I was happy that it was spelled the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
Kashyyyk is Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk is Kashyyyk. It usually has an S, but in this it has a Z.
This was weird because it's like, oh, you didn't read the last time we went here in comics. This is just the holiday special.
Which I
it's not the like
Lumpy, everyone
yeah,
was
I think
there.
it got retconned. Yeah. And
it's not like the Primal Zerg planet anymore. It's
Chewie's
now
sad.
just
Chewie's sad because they have to
70s.
walk. Because they got like shepherded to the spaceport instead of being able to go to the house. And Lando asks Han to help him talk to Chewie, and Han's like,
this is a stinky.
This
is a stinky poo-poo
all the
episode.
sad Wookiees are so funny looking.
Yeah.
This Wookiee's like, oh.
Han's trying to like guilt trip Chewie a little bit, and Chewie kind of like stops complaining, but then
He's like about to kill Lando in the beginning.
well, just beat his ass. And then they find his family, and everybody's kind of sad, and Chewie's on edge, and Lando's like, maybe when he sees his wife, it'll be all right. And Lando's like, does it seem normal? And Han's like, who fucking knows? Wookiees are so weird. And
There is a lot of like casual.
I don't know if this is supposed to
Wookiee
be
racism from
it's
them. It's
weird
like,
because
you know.
it feels like Lando is like the black guy.
Neither of them are themselves in this. They
It's
don't
like-
feel they feel like they're just doing the bit of whatever this issue needs, but they're not like these aren't the considerate people that have gone through everything we've seen them go through.
I don't know that this is 100% their intention here, but it feels like they're having the black guy recognize that slavery is still going on in this story a little bit. And that Lando's like, yo, don't you think these guys seem a little...
Yeah, because there's clearly a whole and I think that's honestly, going back to what we talked about last issue, is the through line of like, even though the Empire's gone, the impact of the Empire still remains. And on Kashyyyk, there's still slavery. Yeah, 100%. It's just a different form.
Well, no, in this one it's slavery is back.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, but it's not
This,
it's like
well, it's not back.
It's not imperial
It's not-
slavery.
It's not that it's back. It's that like the same people that were enslaving them are now free to enslave them more.
Yeah, the slavers now run
Yeah.
a different thing because the Empire's not there. And so, of course, we have to meet
So this
Frankenstein.
this Frankenstein dude comes out and he pulls out
by the
another
way,
Wookiee.
His name is Knife.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Knife looks like Sandman ninja version.
he's like I was like, who is this clown? They get when we see the rest of his people, they're much better drawn and they're literally written better. Like
Yes.
this is a growing
Yes.
pains
Well, I think this
or
was a
different
different
team.
artist. I think it was just a different artist.
They're
on
like
this.
they're like clown villains, and then when we get to Den, they talk. They're written.
Yes.
I don't think they
better.
decided that
mean-
this guy was going to be a people until.
Oh.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Look, it's literally Frankenstein and then Chewbacca's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, dude.
It's-
So he's like, you got to come with us. Frankenstein is like gushing over them. He's like, my name is Knife, if you translate my name. And when they get there, no one's there. And Chewie's like, where the fuck is my family? And Lando's like, all right, let's just go inside. Let's see if they show up. Han tells Lando that, okay, something is fucked up. And he's like, I've never seen one of these knife guys before. I don't know who that is. And it's weird that Chewie's like pissed at Vargi, his brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law Vargi.
And
yeah.
so then
I mean, he's like a traitor to his own kind.
the
I
vibes are
totally
not,
get it.
Yeah, the vibes are not good. Knife throws a knife into the wall.
Crazy.
Right above Lando. Han tries to go after him, and it turns out that like actually he threw a knife at like a weird beetle that was like gonna sting Lando.
flame
Yeah.
lava beetle or some
very,
nonsense.
very
Like
venomous.
quit screwing around kind of thing. There's a sound. Lumpy shows up. That's Chewie's son.
You know what? Shout out to Lumpy.
And he shows up in the door, and then like three other Wookiees show up and grab him and grab the guns. And Lando's gonna be Han and Lando are like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And Knife's like, the slaves are back. And you're like, okay, all right.
At one point, Knife literally bitch slaps Chewbacca. Like, just across I couldn't believe it. I was like, no.
Yeah.
The disrespect.
Han's like, yo, I knew the Empire was back. And Knives like, oh, we aren't the fucking Empire, you bitch.
We're just slavers, dude.
Yeah. And Chewie's like, no! And elbows him in the face. And then Mala comes out because the thugs have Mala, which is Chewie's wife. Han is like, what the fuck? Calls him out, gets hit in the head. Lando's like, we got to just do this. And so they decide to like take them all down the streets and leave Han and Lando behind and march Chewie, like hero Chewie through the streets to make everybody sad. So they like pick their cuffs and Han and Lando watch the Wookiees handcuffed, loaded onto a ship. Han goes after Knife and looks for Chewie. Lando looks for the ship to send out a distress call. Han catches up to Chewie. He tries to get him out of the cuffs, but he's seen and they get surrounded by the other Wookiees. Han.
What you're saying happens
so fast.
Like faster than it takes for you to say it, which also just makes like...
That's comic books
it's like,
in a nutshell.
Yeah, where you're like, all right, we're just doing it. I don't know. This is a...
So... Chewie pulls Han out of the way, takes a beating from his brother-in-law. Han is like pissed and punches his brother-in-law in the face. And everybody's like really weirded out that a human would fight back. Then Vargi punches Han and they like that. And Vargi starts to really beat up Han. And then Chewie like starts like stealth taking the Wookiees out while they're watching Han fight Vargi. And then Knife shows up with a knife. And he's about to kill Chewbacca, and then Lando shoots the knife out of his hand, and Chewie's whole family's there, and Chewie gets so lit that he punches out his brother-in-law, and they all meet up together, and Knife runs away, pissed that he doesn't get to be a slaver on Kashyyyk, and Han tries to go to him, but the Wookiees are, like, in his way, so he's like, all right, fine. And they realize after a second, Lando's like, wait a minute, and they see fucking... Knife taking off in Lando's Cobra ship, which puts everybody back on the Falcon. And Han's like, let's get revenge. Next issue is The Dream.
It's so funny the way they like... Lando gets a line later to just be like, and I got that ship back. Yep. Just seeing like a random thing where you're like, oh,
they
cool.
Probably like...
If anybody that was like worried about where the fucking Cobra was, Lando got it
probably
back.
were like,
don't worry about it.
They probably were like...
the issue that he got it back.
They probably were like, oh shit, we need to get that ship back for another issue. Can you just say he got it back?
Lando got it back.
Yeah. Somehow he got it back.
Somehow
this
the Cobra
next
returned.
issue... The art for the cover of the next issue rocks.
Unbelievable.
Dude, it's the coolest.
Good. This is 92, The Dream.
Real quick, my like thoughts about Wookiee World are like Kashyyyk is like, is it KOTOR where you go there?
Yes.
That ruined me for a really cool, interesting, considered culture of Wookiees.
I think they had already had plenty of time to build it up at that point.
Like how it goes in the protoverse, it's not cool because of how early things were.
This feels like the first real trip.
I guess that they like sort of show sad slaving world is like a bit realer, but like that it still looks like and has the characters of the holiday specials not great.
I think that the real Kashyyyk
episode
does.
3 Kashyyyk sucks to me. That's like that whole is like a weird.
We don't get enough.
It's just tree houses.
Yeah, we don't
It's
get
like
enough.
it's just like I don't know. I really liked KOTOR, and so hopefully we get.
I think we go there in Heir to the Empire. No.
Oh, I don't remember.
For like a heavy amount of time. Am I wrong about
We
that?
go. There are book like I know that we go there again
Because I
so
think
we'll
the
see.
reason the reason that it sucks is because it's just Chewbacca was not supposed to be from somewhere. That is like a joke. Like the idea that there's a whole planet of Chewbacca somewhere is just a goofy concept. Like in general, I think from like a character design perspective, and I think just Monkey World is like very funny.
I guess, but like the description of it, which is like they don't speak English. Like if you just take that in your head, you're like, no, it's sick, and you can do it sick. It's just if you're gonna do it, you have to like when you read about like Frank Herbert, how much time you spend studying ecology, or like any George R.R. Martin, the amount of like research that you have to do something high concept well. Don't just be a guy that's like, let's just fucking go there for one episode in the 80s for a comic. Like, you're not gonna do it well.
Yeah, but I would say this is the first time that I've seen it that it's recognizable as any other Kashyyyk that we run into. How about that?
Sure.
Luke's having a dream about Darth Vader, and he tries to get his lightsaber, and it doesn't work. And Vader tries to take his helmet off, and Luke really doesn't want him to take his helmet off.
He's like, "You'll die."
He's just like, "No!" He wakes up, and C-3PO and R2 are there, and they're like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just a dream." And then it's like, "Oh, droids don't dream." And it's like, "Okay, by the way, come have a meeting with Admiral Akbar." And it's time to go to Endor to have a meeting with all the leaders. And so they go to the meeting, and Leia, Luke, and Han all talk about how they're worried about the slavers that are everywhere and the Imperial remnants, and that a lot of them are like, just now it's like Imperials working with criminals openly, and it's kind of fucked up. And Akbar's like, yes, we need to be the Alliance. We need to be strong defense. And Luke's like, apparently been training some guys.
His B team, all the side characters.
I actually, because the last time we saw these characters, they were like, they have forfeit their right to help rule. And then the next time they're in a meeting doing all the other stuff, I was like, oh, I guess that they just dropped that plot point because it seems like
they're not really
in
involved
the meeting.
in the government at the least, right? Like they're not. Yeah, I guess office.
It's just that was a big cliffhanger ending, and then the next time it's like business as usual with the boys,
right? So Leia catches up to Luke to talk to him about like why he was so distracted, because when Admiral Akbar asks him about the training, he's like, huh? Oh yeah, they're doing fine. Yeah, whatever. And he says he's dreaming and he feels guilty after the dreams, and the dreams get longer, and he's afraid he has to face what's under the mask. And she's like, have you told anyone? And he's like, no. And that's when they talk about like being Vader's child and how weird it is, and how like they're going to keep it between themselves, and he loves being her brother, but it's like too much for the galaxy right now. And so we find out what the training is. It's basically these like training soldiers. And Dracos is like, why are you like training so much stuff, but not the Force? And he's like, listen, like the Force is serious. It's basically the Last Jedi. He's like,
he's like, I'm afraid to teach you.
He's like, I don't think I'm a real Jedi, and I don't think you guys like will learn how to do it right from me.
I think he's afraid he's going to turn them all into like dark side users.
Exactly.
It's a great point where he's like, I can do it, but it doesn't mean I can teach it.
Yeah.
And like one guy going bad changed the galaxy for years. So much death and murder. So can't really like just risk it on.
Pretty unreasonable, pretty reasonable position for Luke to take, actually, if you think about it. Like just based on not just like him, like Darth Vader existing, but also like literally like 2 issues ago, he was like, I must become a god to prevent all death. So like,
I wish I were a god.
Yeah, so like he's like right to think that something might be wrong with him at this point.
Oh.
What use does God have of a laser sword?
Rick's like, what about your teacher? And he's like, my teacher's dead. Luke has the dream again. He gets even closer to taking off his mask. This time he like wakes up, and it's like the like town like bell is going. So he goes outside, and there's a ship coming, and nobody knows what it is. And it's like dodging everybody and outflying everybody. And Han's about to go kill him. And then Luke's like, actually just let it land, because I'm getting a weird feeling. And he's like, okay. And here comes Denon, who is the child of, he's like the Prince of Naldar.
The Naldar ring.
Yeah, and he's come to ask for help after the Empire is back.
By the way, he looks like Keith Richards, right?
I thought it was Kip Duran when he showed up.
This is another outfit, like an archetype of from this era.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like this guy's like the like beginning of like the edgelords. Like
it just looks like a 70s rocker.
He looks like Lord Byron flies an X-wing.
He's like intentionally the opposite colors. It's like if somebody else picked Luke first.
It's supposed to make you
get like his dark hair, but
he's going to turn out evil, right? It's like supposed to be Luke being like, a dark student, because he wants to help his planet and become a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like crazy. And Leia is calling bullshit, but Denon is like, fuck you. I'm the prince of this. And she's like, I'm Princess Leia. And he's like, wait, so is Luke here? And Luke's like, I can help you. I'm not going to teach you how to be a Jedi. He's like, fuck you. I want to be a Jedi. Like, whatever. Same thing that happened with Kiro. But then Barney who, if you don't remember, is one of the two guys that Luke was training, where the one became a good guy and the one became a bad guy.
Right.
Barney pipes up and he's like trying to explain it, and they just go, you know what? Let's just go talk to Akbar. This is fucking stupid.
Also, this time, I think is the first time we've ever heard Luke's like, oh, the black guy is Barney.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which was crazy.
They don't
Yeah.
ever like in the other books when they talk about Lando, they don't ever. That's not like a thing.
Right. Saying like, Lando, you're black, man. What's going on with that? How come you look different than us? But you wouldn't. Like, everybody's an alien. Like, everybody looks so different.
They talk about like that he has like dark toned skin, but it's not like this is the first time
are
we're like
red, bro. Like Zeltrons are like primary, like red 5.
That's a descriptor of a person, not like
Red 5 is like the Pantone.
Yeah, they're like
thought about it like that.
You should not eat a Zeltron because it will give you some sort of mouth problem. So meeting doesn't go well with Akbar. He doesn't want to risk losing troops to go help them yet because they only have so many. And Denon doesn't understand the sort of like nuance of that much. Han and Chewie are no longer in an advisory role, and Leia and Luke are not able to like make waves with Akbar because he has started to move on without them. Like I said, like he is starting to say, I am above these people.
Oh, was that in this issue?
Yes. And
Okay, I think I missed that.
Leia says that Akbar did accept an alternate plan, and Barney is feeling sorry for Denon and remembering about his own homeworld and realizing how, like, you get into this to help your own people, but you realize that the war is bigger and then it doesn't feel as personal anymore all of a sudden. Luke talks to Denon, tells him Akbar's not going to send the troops, but that they're going to go help. And that's like, the alternative when they can't, like, move the army, they'll come be the Star Wars team. Denon's looking at Endor and he realizes that peace is actually like something worth fighting for, and Leia tries to guilt them for like looking at the beauty while his planet is in distress, but he's like, dude, fuck you. I was waiting to hear back from you. And he's like, you don't really care about my planet. And she's like, actually, fuck you. I'm Princess Leia. I'm a good guy. Out of spite, I would never like not help you out of spite. I'm coming with you. We're going to save your fucking planet by hand, you little bitch. Get ready. And
They cram
yeah,
so many good ideas, but into this so that it's like tonal whiplash from this person having 3 panels of being
pretty
like,
dense.
wow, it's quiet. This is a good life. It's also really confusing because he's about to touch like a butterfly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, did you crush a butterfly? But no, you crushed a flower.
Yeah.
But they don't show you. So I definitely spent too much time
trying to figure out if you
zooming
missed the
in and
thing.
trying to be like, did he murder the butterfly or not?
Yeah. They're trying to give him like he has the potential to be a dark sider.
they're trying to trick
Like
you
all
into thinking
things,
he's
it's
evil.
so heavy-handed. They trick you into thinking that he's a he. Like,
Well,
they're
they're trying to get you to doubt him the way Luke is doubting him, because Luke doesn't want to train him because he thinks he's going to turn evil. Luke has the dream again. This time he meets Yoda in the dream, who looks absolutely slizzard.
Yo.
Yoda Titus B.
There is one panel where Yoda is the exact size as Luke, and that shit is so funny looking.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be perspective, but he's
The
like
close
6
up,
feet
the
tall.
close up with Yoda's like fucking hepatitis eyes.
This is like, if you were like, Yoda, did you smoke a bunch of weed? He just would have been like, burp. Like,
He'd be
that
like-
would have
he'd
been
be
his response. And like,
Be like, talking about what are you? Yoda's cool, man.
don't judge me.
Yoda's cool, man. Come on, I'm dead, bro. Leave me alone.
He's like, see this walking
I
stick?
mean, alone, leave me. I'm dead. I am.
My pipe it is.
So Yoda's like,
Been Yoda.
Yoda's like, what? Yoda's like, why did you call me here? And Luke's like, I didn't mean to call you here. And he's like, is it a dream? Yoda's like, doesn't matter. Like, we're magic. Ben shows up.
Anyway, I'm here too.
Yeah.
This like dream state is so sick to me. Like the idea of like, but then it kind of confirms that like, no, it is a real like.
It's Evangelion, like
It's like
The
it is, and
Usphere,
after you
yeah.
die, it doesn't end.
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Past and future come together. Luke has a chance to right a great wrong. Vader appears. Luke does not feel fear, which is good, which is like Jedi stuff. And then that way, that's like the Jedi thing of like, if you're not afraid, then they have no power over you. Anakin Skywalker appears next to him while he's facing Darth Vader, like his healed dad, and asks Luke if he doesn't, like, he's like, don't you recognize who that is? And they realize that it's not Vader. It's like some other weird, evil, dark Jedi.
Like a knight.
And so he's like, oh, I thought it was Vader because I was getting his like vibes, but it's not Vader. And there's lots of different evil people out there. and Anakin's like, yo, you can save this one. So see if you can, like you saved me. So, and then Luke's like, who is it? And he goes to take off the helmet, and Lando wakes him up. Lando's like, sorry, but guess what?
It's sick. You think that it's going to be sort of metaphorical, but it's actually really just like
100%.
No. It's really a dude that's there. You have to go do. It's like, it's not really about me at all. And it's like, well,
it turns out to
kind
be.
of about
it turns out
you.
to be. Yeah.
It's like both. It's really like interesting.
I thought the armor in the dream was going to be like symbolism. No, that dude just rolls around in the armor.
Just like
That's why you're like, but the idea that he doesn't understand this because of his own fear about training is a metaphor.
Yeah.
But also, yes, again, he's like, no, actually, this is literally, this is your
real.
next assignment.
Yeah.
Here's a picture. Go get this armor guy.
It's funny because it's
Like,
like,
oh, okay.
real. Like it's funny because it's like knight armor too. It looks like horse riding, like old timey knight armor.
Looks like a different
And so
genre
I thought it was a
of-
dream.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was a dream. But
if this was Sandman, like, what's the main guy? Morpheus or whatever? Like,
Dream.
during the Middle Ages, he had like a set of armor
Yeah.
because he thought it was cool. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like that's exactly. It has like stars on it. It's cool. So yeah, they show up at the planet. Lando wakes him up. They were like, I thought you said this was going to be like a fine place and like a beautiful city, but it's already like so fucked up. The capital city is like absolutely destroyed. They scan, but they say there's some people. So they go see what's going on. They're going to try and fight them. They head to the turrets.
Do they ever address that? Because they were like, our main city is like,
It just got
so
got
it's
ran
gonna be
over.
like, okay,
It just got ran over while he was gone.
because of like the revelation about the identity. I was like, was there supposed to be more to that, or is it just?
It makes perfect sense, like what happened here, which is just that like these guys got hit and then he ran off in desperation, and while he was gone,
Okay.
the TIE fighters show up. Denon and Luke take him out in the turrets. They realize there's an energy cannon shooting at them, which wings the Falcon. The Falcon falls down. The Falcon's harbulary batteries are damaged. I forget what they're really called. And Denon gets in a little row with Han about his piloting. Luke and the droids and Denon head out. Han, Barney, and Chewie stay behind to like fix and guard. Denon like slips and falls, and Luke catches him, and Leia's like, "Can you even walk, bitch?" And it's like really weird. And then R2-D2 and Leia are looking for the harbulary batteries. R2 plugs into a computer terminal to find the circuits, and he also finds out what happened on the planet and who the rulers are. And they find out something about Denon's family, and so they have to get back to the ship really fast, but they don't tell you what it is because it's a comic book. Lando, Luke, and Denon are then walking through the rubble. They find Foss, who is one of his like old comrades. Denon finds out that the major assault came like as he was leaving. Nobody was left to save them because he left, and he dies. And Lando comforts Denon, and Luke's like, "Get down!" And a bunch of
I
lasers
always
come.
love moments when they're like, they know ahead of time that something is going on. And
Spider-Man stuff.
yeah, I don't know why that idea. It's just like a casual show of your like precognition.
yeah.
That's
It's
kind of
dope.
sick.
A bunch of laser blasts come. Denon is like, "Holy shit, why aren't you teaching me how to be a Jedi? I want to do that." And Luke's like, "Shut the fuck up." They jump out behind a rock. They like tag team some stormtroopers. Denon like shoots some dude in the chest, and he's like, "Holy shit, I just fucking killed somebody. What the fuck?" And then Leia gets back to the Falcon, pulls Han to the side. She says, "Listen, Prince Denon died 2 years ago, so we got to figure out what the fuck is going on with this guy."
Who is this?
And then back outside, Luke, Denon, and Lando are surrounded by troops. The Dark Lord appears. The like knight actually literally appears, and he takes off his mask, and I realize his name is not Kent. It is Flint,
Flint.
which is equally dumb.
Also, real talk, looked like Kyle MacLachlan.
Yes.
Like
Literally,
100%.
literally it's Paul
Season-
Atreides in there. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, we're just in Twin Peaks. Okay.
Flint is the guy with Barney who went off to become
Did
the
we talk
bad
about last
pupil.
time that like Flint and Barney sounds too much like the Flintstones in a
It's
like,
not good.
distracting
It's not
way?
good. Yeah. And then he's
There
been,
is a lot of Dune. One, because Star Wars is just Dune, but I've just been going down the rabbit hole on Dune stuff, and so seeing this too, I was like, did they just make him supposed to look like
you watch the
Paul
show?
Atreides?
Yeah.
The show?
did you watch the show?
The HBO show? Yeah, I hated that.
It's not good.
I did not. It's they try
like-
to do like deep lore into like face dancers and stuff,
Which you
but
kinda need,
but like overall, I was
I
bored.
forgot they even. I'm never gonna watch that.
Mark Strong was in it. That's worth it.
Yeah, he plays the Emperor of the Universe.
I would watch that. All right. So yeah, Barney's friend.
Yeah, you would.
Barney's friend is Flint. They're the guys who are from the same planet.
Like switched roles.
Yeah,
Like
Flint went crazy because his
Flint
mom
was
died.
like, I want to be a rebel.
Yeah. He was like, I've been waiting to kill you, Luke. Luke's like,
I'm actually thrilled they brought him back.
yeah. You knew they were going to eventually, but
Yeah.
it's cool that they did. Luke's like, guys, get the fuck out of here. But Denon and Luke, Denon takes them because he knows where they're at. They get to the Falcon. Leia confronts Denon about his identity, and he's like, listen, I'm Denon's sister. When he died, I just became him. Denon was the one who wanted to be a Jedi Knight. I'm Vila. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just wanted to protect my family, so I became my brother. And Lando's like, okay, great. Shut the fuck up. We got to go save Luke. And so Luke and Flint are fighting. Flint's like, I wanted to be a Jedi, but you didn't let me. And then he's like, I found a master who loved me and took care of me. And then you killed my master. And he's talking about Darth Vader. And Flint's convinced that Luke was Vader's greatest enemy. And Luke's like, no, dude, that was my father. And Flint's like, what? And he's like, you should have listened to me. You fucked up. I'm not good enough to teach you. Like, look at what's happening to you. The Force in your hands is turning you into a dickhead. You're being evil. Like, this is not right. Like, I was right not to teach you. And then a trooper shows up, shoots Luke in the shoulder. The rest
They
of the
do
gang-
have an implied sick fight. This is not the coolest art, but it does imply that they are like
Throwing down.
going at it.
Yeah. Which I'm glad later on we see going at it actually in issues, because I wish we would have gotten something with this one, because it just, I guess they ran out of space.
They keep fighting. Luke tells Flint that Vader was good in the end.
Yeah.
Flint's like, it's too late because they're going to blow up this sector with an energy cannon. Lando and Chewie help Luke. Barney walks up to Flint to ask him if he really is going to blow the place up. And if he is, kill me first, because that'll be the first step anyway. And I don't want to watch you do that. And he can't do it. He can't kill him. So the stormtrooper's like, oh, fuck this pussy shit. And he tries to shoot Flint. Denon sees it, jumps in front of the bullet. Luke calls out Denon. Leia calls out Vila. They have a weird, definitely not modern. They have a weird, definitely not modern conversation about what we should call people. And then Vila is not doing too good. Luke asks if Denon would have been proud. She's like, would Denon have been proud? And he's like, yes. And then she dies.
She dies.
Crazy. Flint watches all this unfold and stops the auto-destruct before taking off his Imperial glove. And back in the dream world, we see Vila finally returned with her brother in Jedi heaven, and Yoda is there, and they're all going to be Jedi.
Honest to God, that's the note I wrote at the end of that was like, hold on. Did she die, and now she's being taught the Force
By
in
Yoda
the dream
in heaven.
world by Yoda?
Dude,
I was like, oh,
That's
what do you mean?
this issue, especially going back through it, they did so. This is all one issue. There was way too much for one issue.
So much.
If this was its own little trade, there is a really sick
Agreed.
thing happening here. There's really cool ideas, but because they crammed it together, even the revelation of who she was, Lana had to be like, joke to move on to the next thing. Or this fight is implied in three pictures of them, but they're flipping and doing crazy shit. This is a real ass.
It's getting to
And they have-
what we know. Yeah.
And they have a backstory together, and they have history, so watching that fight would have been cool. When his
Villa's
boy runs
death.
in, yeah, when Denon dies is a great scene, but also having Flint's guy be like, kill me then. Barney's like, just kill me, bro. That's a great scene.
Actually,
they're a great scene.
They actually let Barney and Flint's interaction, it got the whole page, but this is what you're talking about, the amount of words in this,
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
They really have it. The art is sick.
I agree with you completely. If this was a 4-issue run or something, this would be tight. I mean, even the concept of, because they touch on this in all of Star Wars, even the new stuff of death isn't, if you're connected to the Force and we're all part of the Force, there's other ways to talk beyond life. And so having these characters who want to be a Jedi die and then be like, Yoda's just well, now that you're here with me, let's do some Force
It's
shit.
absolutely
That's kind of cool.
It's a really cool thing as a kid to read that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially considering we see at the end of Return of the Jedi that Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda are chilling there being like, look at these crazy kids. The idea of them existing still in the Force as a concept, it goes back to the whole thing where, Yoda's just like, we're all light, bro. Like, I think that's neat. I think it's cool.
The living, like, Force, how big it is, the idea that it is, like, doing things across time and space is sick. And it's bigger than the brain can comprehend, so it's cool that you don't really get, like, answers on it.
Yeah.
But then you have, like, the brother and the sister and the stuff, and, like, this is kind of reminiscent of that, like, evocative of, like, agents of the Force still working in the Force that aren't.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have made it like a portal to another time period, like they seem to have done in the new.
Well, but no, I think it's the same thing.
I absolutely don't think it should be so descriptive and so set. But the idea that, like, these spirits, like, they're not even. I don't even think that it necessarily is like you should visualize it to look identical to this as much as it's like a universal vibe that it's happening.
That's the one incredible thing that the Ahsoka show did was that episode where it's like Anakin and Ahsoka, and he's like in this dream world where between life and death, and he's just like, "Hey, girl, I'm here," and she's like, "What are you doing? You became evil," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm aware. Let's look back through our past together."
Yeah,
like that's cool in the same way this is, where it's like, okay, the Force beyond what we see is this whole other thing.
Yes,
and if it's just in her head, we'll never know.
There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential to that.
And the fact that we aren't going to get an answer is great. I love
better.
that.
Yeah. I don't really love just like future visions or the way that they kind of did it with the prequels, where it's just like you're getting a slice of exactly what's going to happen. I think like the Dune movie helped visualize it for me in a way that makes it sick, where the idea that you are experiencing other timelines and can learn.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh, this guy that I have to duel right now, I can have a flash where I was like his friend and his student and learn things from it, makes it so much cooler, more interconnected, mystical in all of the right ways.
Yeah, it's more like Doctor Strange with the trying to figure out what the hell to do with Thanos at the end of Endgame or something, where it's like, we still don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we still don't know what decision he made or what he looked at, but there's something really cool about the idea that he has access to, like...
And they ruined it by him being like, no, I literally just watched a movie of all the universes, and this one showed me the ending.
But even that, like, I don't think that's literally what he did. You know what I mean? Like, I think literally he did go to, like, the, like, magic internet, like, realm and, like, Google what was going to happen, because he has the time Google.
He used AI.
Yeah. He used generative AI to save the universe. Oh, shit.
I'm like reading audiobooking, whatever, through the Red Walls, and they do ghosts, I guess, which is a big thing in like Arthurian legend. But the idea of like spirits carrying information, lessons, and other things forward, which we know is like tapped into, that concept is tied into the earliest versions about like Obi-Wan being like, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine, or Luke being like, I am Obi-Wan, or even what they like shittily did at the end of the last
where
Skywalker,
I'm all the Jedi,
where it's like all the Jedi, where you're like, man, if that had been a plot hole or a plot thread that we had done for 9 movies,
it'd be an amazing
that
moment.
Would be sick.
Yeah,
but you didn't earn it. But like that idea is a cool way, and it's also just a nice way to sort of like reward, like being noble and being or trying your best to do good in a way that's sort of like tangible and intangible. I think like Lord of the Rings does it really well like Gandalf explains, where it's like you're not like you have to do what is like right, and sometimes a thing that's disconnected from you specifically, but also was a person doing something, can come rescue you in your time of need, because like paying it forward is the right way to go.
Yeah, the Force literally is the spiritual, metaphysical version of paying it forward, where it's like, if you're a good person, and this is through most media, if you're a good person, the good things you do not only affect you, it affects everyone around you, and together you make the world a better place, or the universe a better place. And if you're a bad guy, you're always on your own, because bad guys literally push everyone away. And so in the end, it's literally one bad guy versus the cumulative actions of the hero and everyone involved, which is why, again, that Force
Rise
scene
of Skywalker
should have been amazing, but wasn't. But it's the idea of like all these Jedi we all roll together. Even in death, we roll together.
We're all the same guy.
Yeah,
It's like
and
Evangelion, straight up.
Yeah, and like a bad guy is just a lone asshole who is.
You're
honest
wrong.
to God, it's the same thing as fucking Death Stranding.
Yeah. And Voldemort too. Like
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, like
across
all your villains always find out that they're wrong and that nobody likes them, and why are they even doing this?
Yeah.
And fuck you.
And that's like their last thought is like, bye, bitch.
Yeah. And then the Assassin's Creed guy takes them into that weird like
Yeah, and aliens.
loading screen area where they die and have a little chat. Okay, so we got 2 one-shots next. I'm going to try and go through the plot a little faster so we can just talk about what we think, because I feel like we're stopping a lot and we're only on the 4th issue of 10. So
I think that evidence that there is real depth here is that we all have so much to say about it. There's a lot of those issues where we're like, and we're on Flash Gordon for
This issue-
2 episodes. Cool.
this issue and the
And
next
you
one...
can nitpick, but here it's like, oh no, these are all have some of, they got like the essence of really good points. It's just growing pains of how to have them
They're
breathe.
almost like episodes of a TV show now, which is kind of cool. 93 is called Cat's Paw. It's called that because there's cat aliens
Because
in
there's
it.
literal furries with human hair.
Yeah, so-
it is cat people with human. I couldn't get past it. It's cat people with human
distracting
hair.
while also being really beautiful. Like
awesome.
the art is,
It's
The art's
the art
gorgeous.
is, it's like,
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's just weird.
I will never think that just a human animal, like if we were doing the Star Fox movie, fine. But in Star Wars, you gotta like twist it. Even boffins aren't just a dog.
They
That's
probably
the
they
thing.
probably would have been if it was real.
These are like, it's not just cat. Like there's a way to do furries, I guess is the way to describe
Yeah.
it. Like anthropomorphic animals. I get it, but this is literally cats with human hair.
It's weird.
It's so distracting.
It looks a little weird.
Thundercats.
It looks like 70s cats.
I mean, even Thundercats didn't have hair like
it
this.
looks like cats living in like modern day.
It's so
This is-
jarring.
it's like, I don't know, it's Jim Henson
All right.
in a
Yeah,
not
it's-
great
it's-
way, which
yeah,
is,
it's
I don't
not
like
great.
I'm
because I
just
love
gonna
Jim
go.
Henson.
I'm gonna go through the plot of this one because it's like a little. It's all mechanics based how this one works. Anyway,
And it's at the core a sick idea that is like,
Yeah.
don't tell it like this, please.
So
Yes.
there's some
Yeah.
Y-wings chasing. there's a cat X-wing pilot, and she's being chased by a bunch of Y-wings, and they're on their way to the rebel base on Sidjo to warn the rebels. And one of the blasters hits her ship. On the ground, they're talking about. It's Han, Luke, and Leia. They're talking about their diplomatic mission and how hospitable everybody's been, how crazy it is that they're like heroes who saved the galaxy. Everybody's like knows them already. They're talking about how crazy it is, how much of heroes people see them here. And they notice that there is a fight in the sky and that the 3 Y-wings are chasing the X-wing. And since those are both rebel ships, they're like weirded out by it. Han's like, how about this? It's 3 against 1. I'm going to help the 1. And the X-wing crashes and they run to help on the Falcon. And Han on the Falcon hears that the X-wing pilot has crash landed. It is a rebel, but the other ships, they don't know who it is. So they go to take out the Y-wings. They take out 2 Y-wings in 2 shots, which is crazy. They go to the crash pilot. Leia thinks it's a dude. Turns out it's a cat woman. Her name is Minka, which is the name of a real cat that you would name in real life, which is hilarious. She came from an asteroid base in Cantro system, which is a long way to ask the rebels for help. She says that without aid, none of the rebels in the Cantro system will live long enough to see the Emperor die. And they're like, I have some great news. The Emperor is dead. He's been dead for a while. So Minka's like, well, who the fuck have we been fighting then? And she's saying the spies are saying that Palpatine is the boss of all this. And so she's like, what the fuck is this? So they go to the sexy cat planet. And Minka takes the rebels to meet Dern and Sammy, who are the leaders of the cats.
I just can't. Their hair, like when the guy has like the curly cue,
the blonde hair on the white cat is wild.
They're
stuff.
all making it's always like such a striking face to. Have you ever seen
They're all dressed
like
like Mike
when
Myers.
somebody makes like AI video of like a movie where it's like Harry Potter but make him buff or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
It's like otherwise a seriously told thing, except for its absurd cat people are like 3/4 of the people.
We already met these cat people, by the way. I wanted to remind you. I don't know if they're the
I probably
exact
thought
same.
it was weird back then,
Yeah,
but
I don't
this is
remember
like-
these people at all.
Don't you remember the mother and child?
Dude? I don't remember them at
the
all.
The cat performer that was on Han Solo's crew
I don't remember. Like
with
this.
Bollocks and Blue Max.
I in my head make them more like the Panther, like
Yes,
l-
exactly.
less like
Those are
cat
just-
proportion head.
Those are just bald guys.
Fuck you.
Those are like they're just cat people with hair, but they're bald. But so they have normal cat hair, but they're bald. All right.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's like
yeah. Then they have a wig.
yeah. It's like it's like an intense bald. It's like the Hitman.
It does.
Code 47.
Davis is right. It does look like they're just cat people, but then they all bought wigs.
Yeah, but no.
They're
These
all
guys
like
are bald.
British judges or whatever. Who like it's fucking weird, dude.
Anyway, the cat people are like, so they catch everybody up on what's going on. The rebels are like, there's not even Imperials over here. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. And the cat leaders are like, so who's fucking killing our people? The spies are telling us that it's the Empire. The rebels think the spies are telling them what they want to hear, and that they're misinformed, and that the nearest Imperial stronghold is right beyond Saijo, where they were coming from. And they're like, all right, let's go figure out what the fuck it is. And Minka and Sammy are coming, and they get on the Falcon. And Sammy and Minka ask the rebels, like, were you guys like pretty close to the center of all this since you guys know so much? And Han's like, come on, we were. And then Luke's like, actually, we're like backups. We're like, cool. We've been around, but we don't really do that much. We're like kind of side characters, not the main characters. And as they get closer, it seems like they knew that they were coming. The Falcon's getting shot at. Luke is like, maybe we can pretend to crash. And Han's like, actually, that's going to be actually a great idea because we actually are about to crash. And Han starts dodging, and Luke's like, just focus. They land. They get out of the ship. They realize they're in like a gully that they can't get out of, but Luke is able to send Leia and Minka up using the Force. And Sammy questions how he does this. Luke's like, shut up. And they get held up by some more cat people. Leia and Minka see this happen. They decide to follow them. In a cave far away, they're all tied up now. The other cats are discussing how they finally caught someone, so they know who they're fighting. And that doesn't bode well because it seems like both of them think they're fighting each other and that both are the emperors. And that two of them aren't even a proper species, which is weird. And then Han asks if anybody has a plan. Sammy says that he's happy to die with honor, which is crazy. Luke just wants to keep paying attention. They decide they're going to torture him. The other cats decide they're going to torture him. And as the other cats are getting ready to torture the stupid-looking one, Neru the cat tells them to stop because this is how the Empire acts. And if they torture people, they're not even the rebellion anymore. And so they're like, okay, so we all think we're the rebellion. And Luke's like, don't worry, we're going to get out of the vines right when we need to. I just want to hear. And then Neru tries to like step in and stop it. Another cat shows up and says the prisoners need to die.
This is more of me loving like Master Jedi Luke, because everyone's worried. He's like, just chill, Han. Just land it. We're going to be fine. Or it's like, we can get out whenever we want, guys.
Yeah.
Stop. Just I'm listening. Let the adult.
Yeah. Turns out that the cat who's like, let him die is actually Dern, who's been playing both sides and telling each other that they're the Empire.
That's
and
a
the rebels.
bad kitty.
And they
Spray him with some water.
Dern realizes that they're like the heroes of the rebellion. Dern pulls his gun out. The crew begs the cats not to let Dern kill them because they are the rebels. The cats exclaim they want to hear what the prisoners have to say, that they aren't the murderers. Han shouts that they're the rebellion. Sammy tells them Dern has lied to them. They're starting to realize it. Luke gets out of the vines. Dern tries to kill Luke. Leia gets up behind him and shoots the gun out of his hand. Leia and Minka slide down. This makes the other cats go, oh my God, it's the Imperials. But the rebels put their blasters to stun. And so they have to fight, but they're like, okay, well, they're wrong about who we are, but we're going to stun them. On the outside, Dern's like, I'm going to try and kill Neru now while everybody's fighting. And Luke sees this and throws the lightsaber to stop the blast, and it reflects right back to Dern. And the other cats see that Luke saved Neru, realize he's a Jedi because he has crazy powers, and then they put it together. They realize he's Luke, and that's Han and Leia. And Dern is once again trying to leave. Neru trips him. They finally realize they've been getting fucked over by Dern, and they all are buddies at the end. And Luke is sad. Leia's like, what's the matter? And he's like,
we'll never see these cat people again.
He's like, what happened? He's like, what the fuck was Dern even doing?
He's like, at the end, he's like, what is going on with this galaxy?
Yeah.
Which is how I feel. But this is like the idea of spies playing rebels against other rebels.
Pretty cool.
Can be a cool idea.
The weakness of
I feel
the
like
weakness of self.
like this is the absolute worst way to do this, because also nothing in here resembles Imperials or rebels. It's all this cats in just like onesies that are the same color, but they somehow know about all of the things from the rebellion and the heroes, but we never see that there's any actual connection. Like, have these guys ever heard of that planet? Like, it just doesn't, it feels so disconnected and distracting because they're cats and there's nothing else that is related to it. And then also, it's written so broadly, like they have to say everything that happens.
Yes.
There's no like,
It's like a Clone Wars episode. It's like very like almost formulaic.
oh, we have to say what's going on. We shouldn't torture them because that makes us bad. Wow, that bad guy stopped the other guy that we thought was good from, this is literally the dialogue, from hurting us. So they must be you're like, you can just show, you don't have to say it like,
Yes.
oh my God,
I'm
this
with
is
you on
so,
this.
it's just, it's so rough. I like actually forgot about this until we started talking about it. And now I'm like, oh, I
I did
remember
not.
like how
This issue and the next one upset me in a way that I cannot express.
they tap into in this also the idea, not in this specific issue, but like that, hey, there's anybody that joins the rebellion is a hero, not just the three of us or whatever, or the idea is that like rebels are fighting each other or that there's misinformation and stuff. And it's like, I guess we have to wait decades before we get like the apex of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, it's only like a couple months in real life, which is exciting.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fun. So this next one is number 94. Is
Can I just say, while reading this issue in bed,
yeah.
I may or may not have taken an edible.
Okay.
And I thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah. Okay.
The art in this issue, what this issue is,
The cover.
I genuinely thought I was like, is this what everyone sees? Because this shit is like
I didn't understand what was happening at first because they start kind of like
issue is
weirdly.
insane issue.
It's like a joke because
Yeah.
in the end it's like no one takes this super
Small Wars.
serious.
It's Small Wars.
It's just also that the art style radically
changed completely.
and looks like early concept for some of that like middle before the Renaissance Disney movie stuff.
This is like what
Jungle
the
Book,
rest-
where,
Admiral
like,
Akbar's face, I was like, what is happening?
This
aside
art
from her
style-
like sick red outfit, like it's just a very
This artist is very good. It's just a little bit different.
Oh, the next issue rocks.
I mean,
this one's just as weird.
This is Cynthia Martin's like
yeah,
first
even
thing.
this art is good. It's just
it's so different.
yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, like not human faces, but backgrounds. It's like how whatever the Elder Scrolls engine is like. Sometimes can be beautiful, but don't ever look at the faces.
Yes.
I believe that this artist here that we are going to have, I think this artist first
Cynthia
of all, is going to
Martin.
take us through most.
The next issue rocks.
Yeah,
I,
also,
Also,
no
is she the
complaints.
first like female artist on the Star Wars? Because we had Glynis who did coloring, but she's like
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on. I don't want to say she's the first, but she's definitely to me like this look right here is like
penciling means you did the art, right?
yeah. This is what you do the penciling. This is what
That's the base level. Like I know like inking and coloring are like you like prettying it up, but like this is what
yeah.
you're tracing.
Pencils will
in.
be the first person on the page.
Yeah.
It's just a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like laying in bed being like, what is happening right now? 'Cause
Only Chewie looks cool.
It looks
actually.
it looks most similar to the first issue of anything else in this comic book that
it's
we've
just
read so far.
bizarre looking comparatively to where we've been.
Yeah.
That I was like out of my mind.
It definitely
confused.
is weird, and especially because it has the Ewoks involved and it has the Losbies, which if you don't remember, they're the Gremlins. They're the ones that like turn into crazy.
They're not Ewoks, but they're the same size as Ewoks.
Yeah. So basically, what's going on here is the Lasbies and the Ewoks are, like sort of like clan war, and they're like coming to blows, and it's like turning the Ewoks against the rebels and everything because this mantis dude that looks like Zorak from Space Ghost is hanging out with Admiral
He's
Akbar.
in that like he has a beret, that era of like
he looks
bad
like a
person
he
doing
looks like a like
clandestine operations.
He looks like a
Yeah.
South America. He looks like somebody who'd like be like
A little
in the,
chick.
Revolution-
the
like he's trying to
hostage
do like a-
crisis at
yeah.
the Olympics, something like that. But he's like Zorak from Space Ghost, and he's like the attaché to Admiral Akbar.
That looks like AI.
Is that a
art, dude.
Twi'lek?
Don't zoom in on
That looks like AI. art.
background.
That's crazy looking.
don't zoom in on the background.
It's not even the background, dude. It's
It's
like
literally the background. They're one color.
That one guy has no
guys-
facial form. It's just a blob of a face.
you guys are going after.
I did not take edibles, but I also was like, this was a struggle to get
That's
through.
what I'm saying. Like felt like I was going crazy. I
think
was
the
like,
art is good.
What was
I think
in
the art
that?
is good. I just think the story is like pretty dumb. But basically, what happens is this mantis like whispers in the ears of one of the Ewoks and convinces him that like this one of these Lasbies like fucked his girl, and it's gonna like take over everything. And Luke shows up where the Ewoks and Lasbies are, and he's talking to Wicket, saying he's gonna like start his lightsaber training, and asks if any of the Ewoks want to go in, but everybody's mad because the Lasbies and the Ewoks are fighting. Herog is the mantis, and he is calling the mothership of the like mantis people. We don't really know who he's working for, but everything's going to according to plan for him, and he's ready. Like the Hiromi themselves, which I believe are just the mantis people, are trying to conquer the galaxy, really is what it is. And so he sets up a plan to like fuck all this stuff up. The Lasbian delegate messes with the Ewok princess, and it messes up everything, and it turns them against each other, and he thinks it's funny because they're both very inconsequential races, and it's going to cause everybody else in the Alliance to take sides and make everything fall down. And C-3PO already sees this and believes that it's his fault somehow, though we don't ever really quite find out why. And
Because he's the one who fucked Wicket's girl.
it's because he was like the interpreter between them, but he said something wrong or
And
something.
his girl fell for him. She's like, "You speak many languages." He's like, "Poop, poop, poop, wow."
Herog
I thought he
then-
was a god.
Herog
Yeah.
says he's going to spy on Luke to see how serious the Jedi situation is. Luke is starting to train the Lasbies in the Force. He instructs them to attack from all sides. They jump at him from all sides, but when he yells to like jump, they get scared and run away. And it's like not going good for Luke. Han is like, this is so stupid. These guys are not a threat. And then Chewie's like, actually, you wouldn't know this because you weren't here, but they are crazy. And Han's like, no, they aren't. And Leia starts saying, actually, like, you should see when they hit puberty. And then Danny shows up and says, and also when they get horny. And everybody's like, oh, God. And she doesn't want Han to find out what happened between...
I forgot Danny was in this issue.
The Lasbies are my Paul Dano.
Leia...
I like. They're so ridiculous. I can't.
I want to be clear
Some
that
stuff
Paul
is
Dano
like, fine,
is a great
it's dumb.
actor.
Oh, I love him too. We were talking about like that. Quentin Tarantino's dislike of Paul Dano is not one. It's
not natural.
Actually, this is not my Paul Dano because mine is very much based in logic. But
it's
it
an
is-
irrational hatred.
It also
I'm
has
sure
like
Tarantino
knots
thinks
that
it's
is like
logical, too.
where like they're so stupid. They make no sense on any level. They shouldn't be here.
It's fun.
They provide no. Once they become not children, they're like monsters that try to kill.
It's fun that they do that.
provide no benefit of any
like
kind.
they're a video
to
game enemy.
The Alliance. Why are they so involved and sometimes treated as a respected Alliance member?
Because they are.
And then also they're like, be careful. A bunch of these are almost about to become murderers. It's like, I can't take anything seriously when these guys show up and no one's like, I'm sorry, like, why don't you have a Rancor here also? Why aren't Rancors represented
Because
in
they're
the
not
same exact
sentient.
way?
They're not sentient. So
It's so
But this-
stupid.
Honestly, the same thing can be said for Ewoks.
yeah.
As an alliance, like the New Republic,
And
I'd
in
be
the movies, they're not really treated as much besides like, we need you to like not do this thing and we like took over a thing and we should never come
We don't
back
really
to
That's
that.
know.
what I'm saying. Like, as like if you, I would be like, oh, that moon of Endor is a nature preserve. We just don't go there.
If you tell me
They're
that
not part of the government. They're Ewoks.
if you tell me that in the New Republic era there's like a delegation of Ewoks that goes to Coruscant and joins the government, I don't believe that happens.
I don't
But if-
think it
But if
does.
you told me it happened, it would give me pause. I would have to think whether or not that would actually happen in Star Wars, because I think maybe it might. I don't know.
They're not- but I feel like there has to be rules like, oh, are you a spacefaring society? You know what I mean? Like, would you connect with? It makes no sense to be like this tribal group of people on one moon. Yes, they helped us, and we will
No,
repay
they
them
have
for that.
they have a city. They're civilized, right?
Ewoks?
No. The Lasbies, right?
Oh, the Lasbies have a city, but
Aren't the
their
Lasbies like? I thought they like
their
kept going
society's a
to.
mess.
I don't know
I
how
thought it
works.
was they just become like like crazed animals when they're adults. I
Yeah.
thought it was like we only saw them go there because of somebody was kidnapped. Like it was a place that they went one time.
But that place is filled with murder hobos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're all like
doesn't matter. The
Bigfoots,
point was-
except for they're like no, they kill. They're like
The good news is the reason that they're here is literally because they're a joke character. So that's why they're in this story. So basically, Luke's trying to calm them down and get the two, like the Ewoks and the Lasbys to train in the Force together. But then the Ewoks are being like punks and throwing rocks to like stop it from like to disrupt things. And Luke like moves the rock out of the way so that it doesn't hit anyone, but he moves it into the bushes where the Mantis dude Herog is sitting, and it like knocks him in the head. So we're in Jokum-ups. And Akbar's looking for Herog and being like, where is Herog? And the Wookiees are like, "Rrr." They're like, we hate that guy. And Akbar's like, come on, like you must be like neutral. And then they turn their spears towards him. And
Davis.
what do you think? Why do you think that's bad?
My man is just highlighting faces in the comic, and it's so funny.
This is literally Wallace whenever you walk in the door. Like,
hold on, go back to that Lando face. Lando's faces.
Billy D. Williams is so disrespected in this issue. There are half the time his eyes
like
are not.
zooming in.
They look other. You say zoom in, but like not really. This isn't even the background. Like
you're like being like,
that's a sex pest.
I just don't get it, dude.
He's in disco fever outfit
they can't
this
even
whole episode.
see.
They give him like an ass.
They can't even see this art, and it's good art.
No, it's for you because you're going to bat for this, and I just
I
need
will
you to
go
know.
to bat for it 1,000 times. This is the same person you're going to turn around and say is amazing in one issue.
And here's the thing.
That's why I'm like, it's not her fault because she has great stuff.
She's
but
just
whatever.
drawing
The art in
fucking
this
story.
issue is not great.
Would you give this the same amount of time as you gave the fucking whip saber fight if you were the artist? No.
What? Don't you have to draw? I don't know.
If you were cracking out the Ewok doo-doo story and you were cracking out the 6th story where you fight the
Dude,
Me
some of
reading
these-
this.
you're just clowning on her art. You're just clowning on her art style.
Some of these faces.
I'm not
though,
clowning on her
Yeah,
art
you
style
are.
because I'm about to
Nah,
do some other things on her art style.
I still think you're clowning on
that. But some of those. Come on.
But like the art, it's just like the whole experience is like it is nonsense dumb, and there's also this. It's like it's so.
It's a cartoonish issue that
but, like,
is
The other
not-
weird thing too
to your
is
reading
with
level.
these guys, the Mantis people, their plot line is just what they actually do with the Nagai one
I'm
issue
pretty sure.
later.
I'm
It's like
pretty sure
the
they're just
same
like.
thing.
I'm pretty sure they're just like a racist depiction of like some kind of terrorists. Like they basically have the vibe of like the Libyans from like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
They just are all in a van together being devious. I don't know what's going on. Their spaceship has legs like a bug. We'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah, but I'm saying like their whole like little subplot is what the Nagai are doing. Like it's like it's just a
Nagai-
weird like
Nagai
one
are-
issue later.
Yeah, the
but done
Nagai are
seriously.
well done.
It's
yeah.
the biggest problem with this issue is I think what we both are touching on is that the plot sucks, and so it makes it. While you're reading a story that sucks, you now are spending more time looking at everything else happening, and now you're just nitpicking because everything once you're out of the story,
The art is bananas.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
They're trying to. create
I think the annual last year we had a similar thing where I like showed the different faces of Luke, including the One Punch Man one.
yes,
But that had like a good point, and then when they got to like the big action scenes, the art like ripped. Here it's just like throughout. It's like I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man.
I think your problem mostly is that it's off model.
I don't know that it's off model. It just seems
You're
like
zooming in on shit and being like, look how much this doesn't look like this
I'm
person.
zooming in for comedic effect, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. Just when I'm looking at it, I notice these things.
It feels like when people look at a cover by Frank Miller today or John Romita Jr. and they don't understand,
like this is the
about
center
drawing.
of the page. Like this.
it looks good. It's a great drawing. Are you crazy?
You saying it's good? I'm making this Lando face.
It's not. You guys you're crazy. You're crazy. You've lost.
I'm
your
making
mind.
Lando eyes
You've
at
lost
you.
your mind. You've lost your mind.
it's I think, but Davis is right. Like this issue is not a good issue, despite
No.
the fact that the next issue, even with the art still being the same,
The
is
issue-
fantastic.
This
Literally the next.
it's just like it's clear.
Fantastic.
It's
So good.
clear that they're like this issue's called what? No Zeltrons too.
What I also think, and now that we're talking about it and seeing the far away, because what's supposed to be the next issue is like 4 months away. It might actually have been too hard to keep this quality of art. Like, weren't you saying that they would have people pinch hit issues to fill in if it was like too slow?
Yes, but I also think a big part of this, and this is something that, like, I don't know, it's hard to sort of like replicate this because it can't be really a part of our reading process. But like the product of Star Wars the comic book, like at this time, like other than a few comic books, right, which had like at this point started to like really become their own books and like become sort of the thing that we know about, they were more kind of like, I don't know, like variety magazines with a couple of stories in them or something like that, right? And so Star Wars needed
like when it was like Strange Tales or Detective Comics,
action comics, or even within a Batman, sometimes you're going to get 3 different stories of Batman that are like different, like tone, right? Because the idea is that like, yes, like there is this property and there's rules that you follow, but like also like we're artists and we want to broaden our thing. And so for the line, the Star Wars comic, you're like most people who read it aren't going to read every single issue in a row. Like going to a comic store was not part of the experience at this time really yet even. And so like there are readers of Star Wars who are a little bit younger and sillier, and there are readers who are looking more for the action and stuff like that. And I think one thing that you're seeing is them trying to please all those people. It's also clear that editorial has a good idea where they want to go with the story, but it's also clear that they're trying to generate a rogues gallery in a post-Empire version of Star Wars because
that's true.
Because at issue number whatever we're at 95 or whatever, like we don't know that the comic book's ending in 13 issues yet. I don't think. You know what I mean? Like at this time we're going month to month, we're trying to figure it out. So what is another thing that we're seeing aside from like, you know, stuff being thrown out the wall last minute in the way that half of comic books already are, is you're seeing like, it's clear to me that what we're about to read is much more like what the main story is that they're trying to tell in these Star Wars comics. But these sort of little goofy issues, they're trying to find where that stuff fits in the Star Wars property right now. Like it's very obvious that like at this time, people were interested in the Ewoks and in the droids and what's going on with those properties right now, at least from the up down. Like, I don't think that it's
funny because I think that the Ewoks weren't, I don't know that people were interested in the Ewoks as much as Lucas.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like
that's
the company was interested in
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Blending them, yeah.
Is like, we're trying to like, they're trying to keep those things part of the brand also and fit them into like, you know, a sick thing. But the fact that this next one is called No Zeltrons to me makes me feel like also the team being like, okay, no funny business. Like this is going to be a cool one.
Yeah, and this starts I mean, I guess we'll see because
let me really quickly
like,
wrap the plot of this silly one really quick so we can catch up to where we are because I don't want to quite go into this yet until we close this because we didn't do like half the issue, but I do want to talk about this. Yeah, so this dude is in the bushes. They talk to him. He says, "Come back once I make sure they're destroyed." He says, "It is destroyed. I just have to set the bomb." And they're like doing blaster stuff, and then they're fighting with the blasters, and everything's going to shit. Danny like puts down a Losby. Luke gives up on the training. Everything's falling apart. Tippett and his friends think he's like against them now. They don't believe the princess and the Losby were framed. Lando's like, I have a plan. It's about love. Lando sets up a duel to like try and stop the violence. They agree. Han is like, this is so stupid. This bear is going to kill this little blue thing, but then it evolves into Charmeleon and gets really scary and becomes a Losby, just like we said, Gremlins. The timer is about to be set up on the bomb in the bushes, but then like because of the chaos that's going on with the like Yetis or whatever, like a laser like goes into the bushes and destroys the bomb, which is crazy. And it like blows up the like timer on the bomb also, so we can't stop it. And everything like the Ewoks are trying to stop the Losby with the blaster, and there's just chaos and everything's going wrong. And Luke and Leia show up, and they get a hold of Han's blaster and they shoot a branch above it and they knock it out. And the Mantis runs because he runs out and is like, "There's a bomb! Holy shit! Holy shit!" And they like look back at him, which is like a very weird, funny panel when they see him come out and like get fucked. And then the big Losby like throws a rock at him and just smashes him like Wile E. Coyote, and smashes the bomb, and everything's fine. And the mothership's like, oh shit, guess we gotta leave. And if that's the least dangerous guys in the entire galaxy. We better get out of here and come back later when it's like safer. So they leave and they're like, fuck Hirog, leave him behind. And Han and Lando are talking about like who is to blame for how this went down. And Luke's like, I wonder if Hirog's okay. And they're all fine. And everything's okay now. And this little silly sketch
Despite
is done.
the people in there that were doing the fighting, not knowing anything about what happened, they're friends in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest. It was like a bad episode of Clone Wars.
The best part is like Leia's outfit. Like they changed her color in it, and it's red, and you're like, that's a cool. You look good.
Generally like the idea of the Mantis aliens. They just don't look like Star Wars guys. Like if they were in Venture Brothers or something, they're hilarious. Like I don't know. They just don't. They're just not right. Like a
shitty
mantis,
revolutionaries probably already exist.
A mantis with the beret is like. There's no call for that. There's no call in Star Wars for an entire race of people that are mantises and they wear French Revolutionary berets.
Yeah,
that's a little bit.
That's been like an issue that I have with this throughout its run that they go away from later is like sometimes they keep it all in universe and sometimes it's or like sometimes it's like a very human Don Juan Quixote, like a very like Earth thing that's put in there, and it's like
sometimes the girl who when she kisses Han Solo loses her damn mind.
No,
her women's lib goes right out the window.
Even the thought of kissing,
the notion that she might kiss him. Yeah. Issue 95, maybe the coolest cover so far. Really like insane like painting on the cover.
The first page, cool as shit.
They're
too.
trying to. The only thing that's weird is that the character on the page is like not really represented in the book that much.
This was her last look, though.
Yeah. This is Lumia from the end of the previous trade or so, I think, if I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah, the robot.
The, like, Lady Darth Vader one that we were like, okay.
They changed her look a little bit.
Yeah.
I think of these next two issues as like, it's the same story. So,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but
she kind of looks like Padme meets Melina meets
a Fremen. I don't know, like another Dune kind of thing. Maybe when she's fighting on the sand, that's why.
Yeah.
But like she has like Spawn or Batman cape where it's like
She looks cool.
it's like bigger. It like changes size and shape to be kind of like sick.
Yeah. There's not that much like that happens really in these issues so much. It's like a lot of action, but like we'll go through them.
Yeah.
This one's called No Zeltrons. Lumia is trying to get information on Princess Leia from a rebel. Now part of the Alliance of Free Planets. That person's name is Kerr. He looks like
The lead singer of the Killers.
Yeah, he looks like Burt
in
Reynolds.
that music video.
But he's not telling her what she wants to know. Lumia's like weird, like henchman person is about to kill him. He says he doesn't know where the princess is, and the only commander he ever talked to was Luke.
The guy who just looks like Sandman, by the way.
Yeah. And Lumia's like, Luke, eh? And then we go to Leia, and she is being dramatic, and she doesn't want to make a sacrifice. And Han is like, is there anything I can do? And Akbar's like, no. And it turns out that actually what she's sad about is that like the like Miami Vacation Zeltron team has showed up to like be part of the
All
rebellion.
four red boys.
All the hot people that Leia had a bad time with.
Their outfits are absurd.
She's like, I
also
fucking hate Zeltrons.
Leia has the best
Incredible.
Faces.
like reactions.
Yes.
And they're all to the Zeltrons.
Yes.
Bob, John, Mark, and Rahul are the names of these guys. And Leia's racist. She's like, I would do anything besides work with Zeltrons. And they're offering to be helpful. Leia's not impressed.
By the way, admittedly, I relate to Leia more and more they show Zeltrons.
Yeah.
The more they're in the issues,
it's
I'm
obvious
like, oh,
why
these guys suck.
They're literally like the bad team, like when the snowboard lodge is going to get closed down by the camp from across the lake.
Yes.
The Zeltrons are like the guys from across the lake. They're just, the problem is like they're like
When
himbos.
you're a kid and you're horny and you have no outlet for it, I get it. The idea of a like wish fulfilling hot lady that's obsessed with you is there. I think when they bring the guys in there, maybe that's when more people take note of it. But it's like
In real life-
it's like this is obnoxious. I don't believe that this is a real race, but they do try to like rationalize them over the next couple
in real
of
life,
issues. That's
in real life,
very
I would
wild
think
way.
these guys are probably nice guys in real life. I would not be like fuck these guys, but like in a story where the purpose
These are
that
like
they serve,
friendly, but
yeah,
unknowingly
Nice.
problematic, like Jersey guys.
yeah, nice dudes.
Yes.
Han is okay. Han's like, could you assign them to somebody else? Akbar's like, this is the only way. Han is...
Does he ever explain why?
No.
He just says it's like, oh, we have to.
Yeah. And Rahul comes up and is like, oh my God, though, hold on. You're the hero of every Zeltron, Han Solo. All the girls want to have sex with you. You're the coolest guy ever.
I laughed at this, even though I was like...
Han's like, is that right? And the Zeltrons get around him and they're like,
hey, look, it's Lando Calrissian, dude.
Oh my God, it's Lando.
It's a good goof.
And he's like, fucking goddamn it.
Yeah, I'm like...
Good goof.
He's like, fucking Zeltrons. Leia asks Akbar about the assignment now that she's like, fine, we're working with the Zeltrons. Admiral's like, some worlds within the Alliance who have overthrown the Empire, might be too sort of like rough and ready to like govern. Like they might be like a little too brutal or like a little too inexperienced to like be responsible for their people. So they're going to go to party on Cabray to like see what they can do to like get involved in that situation. There's multiple ships prepped. Luke, Kiro, and Danny are on their way to find a scouting party on Kinnuine.
I was like, another Uin.
Yeah.
Yep.
The same sector.
Luke's crew arrives on Kinnuine. It's a barren planet. Kiro's like, why did we come here? And Luke's like, actually, weirdly, for like no reason, we got life readings here out of nowhere, and then they went away again, and we don't know why.
Well, no, wasn't there a rebel team that went there to report on that, and then they went away?
They vanished,
Yes. So they send a team.
Which I think is supposed to be the guy from the beginning, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's who it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think so. And they find a good place to camp. They find water for Kiro. Danny asks if her and Kiro can finally spend some time together.
I love the
guess
like
that she has
teenage, like, hey, Luke, is it cool if like we go get some alone time? And he's like, got fun.
Yeah, Danny has a type for sure. Luke is staying behind to set up the camp. They're going to go out to explore. Leia's on Cabray, and she's annoyed because 3PO doesn't know how to pack properly, and now she has no dresses. And Han is like, I saw that, but I didn't want to say anything. The Zeltrons are like, no worries, baby. We found one dress, and we're going to make it great. And she's like, but it's my like...
The whole premise is that C-3PO was chosen to do the logistics for 3 different away missions, and he like, oopsies, I switched them up, but you're like, you're a protocol droid.
It's a classic C-3PO
That's
whoopsie.
not
He's
what
Amelia
you're
Bedelia.
That's not really like what you're for. Why are you doing
He's Amelia Bedelia.
logistics for the military missions? Like,
If he just did his job...
aren't you just like like you're supposed to be there to like interface with people and other things?
If C-3PO just did his job, the rebellion would have like won before Luke joined, and like they would have like taken over, and like it would have been fine, and Luke never would have been a Jedi.
This is what happens
Yeah.
when a droid's programmed by a little boy.
Yeah, that's right. That's the other thing.
dude,
That's the other thing.
never meet your
Programmed
maker,
by a little boy. Danny and Kiro hear a noise on Kinnuine, but they're not sure. Leia wakes up from being massaged and rubbed to sleep by one of the Zeltrons while he was doing her hair, and she's like kind of annoyed, but like now she looks
She
beautiful.
looks gorgeous.
He says
Yeah.
she's going to
Dude,
feel
she
better.
becomes like Diana of Themyscira.
Yes,
When she
yes.
goes to like a meeting, by the end of this, I was like, damn, that looks cool.
She sees the dress and
Looks
she's
great.
and she's freaked out because they cut off all the parts where the stains were, but they like embellish it with crystals, and they can't believe how hot she's going to look, and half her naked body's going to be there, and she's like freaked out, but nevertheless, Zeltrons.
She's killing it.
On Kinnuine,
Bob, Raul, all the guys, they really like, they show up.
something crazy happens on Kinnuine that nobody's clear exactly what it is. It seems to hurt Kiro in some way. Some kind of weird evil wind or something fucks his armor up. And then on Cabray, Leia and Han like walk out. Nobody announces them. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Who are they? They're like, have they not seen Zeltrons before? But she doesn't realize that they're all looking at her because she's hot. The governor sees her. The greeting is short because there is a crazy vampire that shows up and welcomes Leia and Han to their distinguished band of prisoners. Everybody's in trouble. Han pulls out his gun. He's at gunpoint. And guess who it is? It's Frankenstein himself. Dream of the Endless. Morpheus. Knife.
In this art style, he like looks a lot.
he looks, yeah.
He looks like Daniel of the Endless. After the failure on Kashyyyk, Knife goes back with his people, and he decides to cut off the head of the snake, get everybody all in one nice, neat place. Han says when he first met Knife, he thought he was unique, but now that there's a bunch of them, he's racist against an entire race. On Kinnuine, Luke is looking at the holograms of the scout team, wondering what happened to them, and he hears a sound, and he goes to see what it is, and it's Kiro with his shattered faceplate, and Luke takes him into the water. Kiro says he needs to go get Danny. Luke says, okay,
Dude.
but I just want to make sure you were okay.
This begins Luke's sleeveless romper phase.
Pretty funny.
Which is like,
Pretty funny.
he like becomes, I think he's supposed to be like sexy now. Like,
No white boy should ever dress like this, but
I
it's
feel
funny.
like on Dagobah, when he was like in his like undershirt, he was like sleeveless.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's literally like, wasn't this a fashion style like
It genuinely
6
looks-
years ago?
it
Like
genuinely
dudes
looks
wearing like
slutty.
sleeveless rompers
It
or
genuinely
whatever.
looks slutty to me right now.
It does kind of have like that like LA cafe boy vibe.
Yeah. It's a weird vibe. So then they all get stuck in a Han and Leia and the Zeltrons suddenly like shunk shunk shunk, like windows and doors close. No blasters, no allies, no droids. Leia is cold because she's naked. Han and Leia try to figure out what they want. One of the Zeltrons is like, "Wait a minute, we might already have what they want." Or they might already have what they want. And the other guy's like, "What?" And they're like, "Does this have to do with slaves?" And then we see Luke on Kinnuine doing shit, just no dialogue. Then Han and Leia talk, and Han tells Leia that
It's serious business, Luke, too. Like, it's great.
He's on a mission. He doesn't need to talk.
Han has a fainting woman plan. The Zeltron boys make a Zeltron pyramid, and they climb up. And
called the Zeramid.
Yeah, Zeramid, excuse me, a Zeltron. And Leia doesn't like it. The Zeltron boys walk up, and they're like, "Actually, you have cool plans, but actually, check this out. Look at how many Zeltrons there are over here." And then on the other planet where Luke is, he now runs into Lumia. She pulls out her light whip thing that's like both a lightsaber and a physical whip, which is crazy. On Cabray,
They don't like explain it in this issue, and so it's like her whip is lightning, his lightsaber is like light. Like this art, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
It's really cool. Yeah.
Dude, and like her cape, which is just like Batman size, for effect becomes like blacks out the whole. This is the sickest it's ever been.
This
dude.
is like when
so
certain
hyped.
artists like, you know, they draw to match the tone, and so the goofy, like overly stylized, like silly stuff then becomes like overly stylized action, and it just looks sick as hell.
The action is great. Yeah.
It really looks amazing. Back on Cabray, Knife comes back to the room, and while he is not letting Leia call for a treaty, the Zeltron that just like climbed up the wall like jumps onto Knife, and the other three Zeltron run out and go get the rest of the fucking Knife guys.
You like-
the Nagai or the Nagi? What are they called?
I was assumed in a guy.
Nagai.
Yeah.
And then you see Luke fighting the whip again, and then the Zeltrons are knocking the bad guys out, no problem. Han and Leia get blasters. Luke gets like totally grazed by the whip. He's not doing so hot. Han and Leia like blast some dudes. Zeltrons kick some ass. Lumia disarms Luke. On Cabray, they're thanking each other for help. Leia says the Alliance would have sent a rescue because they look after all their members as like a show off of like what kind of benefits you have when you join the Alliance, right? And that's good stuff. That went well. Han and Leia leave. Han's like, you know, those Zeltrons aren't so bad. I couldn't have done better myself or some shit like that. And then we see Luke just like absolutely bodied on the next page, and it's a to be continued. Great pick of Luke with his sleeves out. Then
He's
we're
all
on
tuckered out in this little romper.
yeah, A Man in His Dream. That's you. Star Wars 96,
Dude.
Duel with the Dark
I did
Lady.
not know. I like after that duel, I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. And then they were like,
The next issue.
actually, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That was a tease because you're gonna get a whole issue of
Just
that.
fight.
There is no talking for several pages.
It's like the middle chunk talks. It reminds me of like it's like a better version of Superman versus Doomsday when he like
Yeah.
like the way that they like made it less talking and the pictures were like bigger and the way they like did it, it was just like, oh,
It's funny. It's funny because in like the monthly comic book world, a lot of the time when people do that, like I think Batman does it a lot, or like sometimes Wolverine will do this where it's like just sick ass fighting for like a whole issue. And it's like you're paying the same amount of money as you're paying.
right. You expect a
Yeah.
full comic.
And,
Yeah.
and it is a full comic, if you truly subscribe to the idea that art and words are equal to each other.
Right.
But it's like, how fast are you going to turn the pages?
I was thinking about this while reading it. Like, if I had to wait a month and this is what I got, would I love it as much as I currently love this?
But the answer is, of course, it does not matter in all art. That's cool. It's cool. But like, that is something that, like, when you think about the format, is kind of like an interesting reason to be mad. That's like not necessarily wrong. It'd be like if there was a movie with really sick graphics, but it was like 30 minutes. You're like, okay, that doesn't really feel like I got my money's worth, but like kind of I did.
Yeah, I guess I never. That's not like how I think about it. If like one sick piece of art lives with me forever, so like, yeah, I guess I don't.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't feel that way. I just
The great part about this also is they in one issue. It's not like Dragon Ball Z where they like or next time you see like another part of the fight. Like this is a beautiful self-contained
yeah.
issue of just like.
We see this amazing like dialogueless battle. I love all the line work, all the jagged rocks. I love all the intensity.
Fight's cool. It looks cool.
You kind of just have to look at it. Like I can't really like explain it to you in a way that's going to like accurately make you.
Lumia and Luke
like
going
eyes.
at it.
I didn't understand this. Like they like lock eyes, and then Luke has a look that I did not get until the reveal, where he like looks like
he understands who
and
she
then
is.
Now we know who. Like we get the reveal of who the Dark Lady is.
Yeah,
but it like. Dude, she like her as uncool as they tried to make her Lumia look of like the Lady Vader, the circuitry here, the like
the pink, the yellow,
like the coloring of this is like sick, and the weapon. This is a fight that I remember reading about when I was like doing Star Wars forum RPGs as like a fucking nerd, and I was like doing research on exotic weaponry in the Star Wars universe because I wanted my character to have like
laser whip,
lore accurate things.
Yeah.
And I remember like the beginning of like the whip saber, which like they have like laser whips. And like I remember reading a story about like, oh, Luke like had to fight a battle and he like lost or whatever, but then he like ended up being able to beat it by like having a small saber and a big one or whatever.
A little wakizashi
and to
saber.
like bridge the sphere grid of like my life, I was like, this is that moment. Whoa. And it's like rad.
Yeah, and it is actually that sick. But we then jump forward after the fight. Luke's on a table. Lumia and Den, another one of those tall white people, they discuss how she finally defeated her greatest enemy. Den says all that remains is to conquer the alliance of free planets. And now this is a confusing name because Den is not the same as the prince from the previous issue. This is Den. And Den says that all that remains is to conquer the Free Planet Alliance. She says she tried to take down the rebellion. It's not easy. Just beating Luke is enough. And they talk about how her whip is actually effective against lightsabers. Just basically what you're talking about how Luke will have no chance until he comes up with his second lightsaber plan.
It's like both physical and an energy.
He has no way to deal. He has no way to deal with it because he's never trained. And they chat about how the fleet's doing, and they find out that they're aware of the other rebels, everything like that. And they've captured some of the Nagai or whatever on the other mission, which is I think Den is the leader of the Nagai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe.
If he's not, then we haven't met the leader. But
or at least he's a general.
So far of this, he's like the guy that seems to be
he's the boss,
calling the shots.
Yeah. They get to the chamber where Danny is, but not before they learn about the force of nature that is a pack of teenage Zeltrons. Those Nagai on Cabré just got their ass beat. Den wants Danny for himself to learn from, and Lumia doesn't care. She just wanted Luke. So Den's like, let me get the hot one. He's like weird. Then we see
this
Kiro.
begins, even Kiro. This is like a rad issue from everyone's perspective because Kiro becomes.
We see Kiro telling Luke to
hero.
save Danny.
Yeah.
And like a taste for.
If he wasn't already a hero.
A little moida.
Yeah. Kiro finds himself in Kinoween in the water. He's super hurt. He's alive. He crawls out at the camp. He calls for help, but he realizes that it's been hours and that nobody's there. He gets some gear, tries to make his own little bubble to be alive in.
He gets the squall
Yeah.
scar across his eyes.
And he opens the thing to look for stuff and he finds the dresses, which is funny, that C-3PO left. And he actually uses them. And he just wraps them around himself and looks kind of cool.
I love his old suit, like God, that suit is so sick.
Yeah.
But he does he uses was it a pilot's helmet, like
Yeah.
a rebel pilot? He makes himself a little scavenger,
little bubblehead.
wet
Yeah.
boy situation.
And he takes out one of the guards. He sneaks in. He finds Luke. He helps him heal. They discuss what's up. They think up a strategy. They tell the Alliance they're going to save Danny, and then they're going to teach Kira how to be a Jedi, which is amazing. Lumia is looking out over Kinnuine. Luke and Kira approach her. Luke retrieves his saber with his mind powers, tells him he's ready to fight her this time, says she hopes he's prepared to die, and then he reveals that when he was
lightsaber, let's go.
when he was working with Hero, he made a little wakizashi saber or something, and he is able to fight them both, and he almost says her real name, but she won't stand for that because Luke is the one who killed that person or whatever last time. Lumia grips Luke's saber with her whip, thinks she's got him, but then he pulls and then he takes her mask off.
Have we already seen double sabers yet?
From Luke? I don't think from
in
Luke.
the universe?
No.
This is a double saber fight, actual, and it has a purpose and
A smaller saber that is meant to be fought alongside a longer one. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. And then they fight. Luke whips her ass and he takes it off.
Pun.
Yes, he whips her ass. He takes off the mask. Kiro asks her where Danny is. Lumia doesn't say. Then he realizes it's Shira Bree,
broke his heart.
Yeah, the woman who
Now wants to break his
Yeah.
body.
Dude, oh my God. The samurai ending shot is
yeah, and he
This is
didn't
so
he didn't realize
vicious.
it. And Luke tries to tell Lumia that Darth Vader was actually good in the end. And then Kiro sees something in the sky, and then she says, "Then despair now, Luke Skywalker. The Nagai invasion fleet is here," and it's there. It looks crazy.
the art. Oh
Yeah,
God.
it's a good one. And now
Also, the ship designs, cool.
They
I
look like-
they're kind of they're wild looking.
they look like Jack Kirby. They look like
Yeah.
My read on this is this is the shit, right? This is the idea of a really advanced threat from not around here.
yeah.
yeah. It looks like what is it called? The Authority. It looks like the ultra-dimensional ships that go through the bleed in the Authority, and it also kind of looks like the New Gods. It's pretty crazy.
It has the vibe of we're setting up the new villains for the Empire replacement.
They're
Yeah.
definitely not
It's interesting
Imperial.
because
Yeah.
it has kind of the same, if you squint your brain, design idea that the Millennium Falcon was, which was taking a flying saucer and
reeling it up.
it's
Yeah.
taking the very chromy spaceships and then just putting a bunch of shit on it.
Yeah.
They look dope. They look actually in the context of Star Wars, they look like ancient Jedi ships or something like that. They look pretty interesting.
They
Steampunky.
are very alien in a fun way.
Yeah.
That, we don't.
It deadass looks like a convention center. Whenever you go to the places that aren't supposed to be for people and you see all the vents and all the inner workings,
Yeah.
it's this weird industrial shit.
Yeah, it's
cool.
It's very cool. Star Wars number 97 is called Escape, second to last one today. Stormtroopers and Nagai are leaving the giant fleet of ships to establish a base on Kinnuine to prepare for their home galaxy to move into the system.
Stormtroopers look fucking sick in this
We
art
now
style.
learn that Den is called Den Siva, and a Nagai is asking for updates, and he learns that Den Siva is conducting experiments, and Lumia hasn't been heard from, but that last they heard that she beat Luke Skywalker. They're being told to spread out, make sure nobody but Nagai and allies are left on the world. Luke, Kiro, and Lumia are all overhearing this from their hiding spot. They decide to head out. Luke and Kira are headed back to their camp. Luke assures Kira they're not going back without Danny, and Lumia says they're not going back, period, because she's absolutely edgelording. Back in the lab, we see Den is got Danny tied up, and he's shooting her with laser beams that are so thin that they don't even kill her, but they pass through her, and it's freaking out his lab assistant, even this guy Farron. And the beams are meant to.
Did Tron just come out? Because this reminds me of when they're being digitized into the grid.
I don't
You're
know.
Frozen in
That's actually that's a good call.
It really does look like that. The beams are supposed to map out her physiology, I guess, and it really hurts and stresses her out, but it's not meant to kill her on its own, but she might die of being tired. But Farron is getting tired of this, tries to attack Den with a knife. Den catches him, kills him with the knife, which is crazy.
His arc is so inconsequential. You're like, all right.
You're like, damn. Luke and Kiro are getting ready to leave, making sure that Lumia is like tied up, giving Kiro time to soak. They reset the defenses. As they're about to head out, Lumia tells them that she hopes the Nagai kill him, and then the Nagai show up, and then Luke Jedi mind tricks them to like kind of calm them down for a minute, and Lumia tries to like get them to snap out of it, but then Kiro kills them all, and he's like, sorry, I killed them, Luke. And Luke's like, no, it's cool.
I think in the last one too, he's like, when he meets him, he's like, I killed a bunch of them, and I'm sorry for that. I didn't kill as many as I wanted to.
Luke's like,
because I know
fine.
you wouldn't like it. And he's like, it's all right.
Thanks,
you,
man.
You know I've killed a lot.
He's like,
you know
I'm
I've
chill.
killed a lot of people.
I'm chill. I'm glad they're dead. I'm glad they're dead. Back on Endor, the rebels are finding out that there's like a full-on war going on almost, and the guy have been like the ones pulling all the strings of all these weird things that have been happening. They haven't made much progress, but eventually they're going to declare war on everybody. The Hoojibs have been listening in on the Nagai prisoners through their mind. While they haven't given up a lot about what they're planning to do, he's pretty sure that Knife knows something about Han Solo that only Knife knows about and that he hates Han for. Han is like, I don't care about that. I just want to go find Luke. But Akbar and Mothma forbid it. The rebellion is not a rebellion anymore, and now there's like different priorities, and it's up to the leaders, and Han is pissed, and so
This is where they like address, right, that they're not on the ruling council.
There's been a few other moments similar, but this is where
so
Han
like,
kind
they
of
pull rank,
yeah.
which is hilarious because isn't he like, motherfuckers, I got into this because I fucking wanted to. Watch me.
Yeah. And so it kind of justifies why the core group is still going to be going on like road missions all the time.
It does not make Akbar or Mon Mothma look good in this.
It does not at all.
Because they're like, you don't get to just run off for selfish reasons. And Han's like, he's the Jedi that like did everything.
I used to have a different opinion of Mon Mothma than I do now, though, after Andor, and I need to remember that that is not the Mon Mothma that I'm looking at.
I think I also forget that in a lot of times she's like the foil to Leia.
Yeah.
As the like,
She's like nothing.
she's like a
do nothing.
hardliner about
Peace.
stuff in a way that makes her like not. She's like
Effective.
straw woman.
Yeah, she's not effective. Yeah. Danny's curled up against the wall. Den walks up to her to show her a flower, and he's like, "Look, I didn't realize weakness could be beautiful, but now I get it," which is like super weird. And then he's gone, and then she's like, "Kiro," and then Kiro like literally comes and helps her, which is crazy. And then Luke is sneaking around the control room like Ben Kenobi. Now we're full on in Star Wars. Danny's Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Like it's all happening. Luke is
Got tortured.
Yeah.
He even comes in.
Luke sneaking around. They're literally saying this new woman is going to be Darth Vader, but for a new story, and Luke's going to be the Obi-Wan of the story.
And it's cool because they talked about in the book how he blended into the shadows, and unlike in the movie, they literally show him
literally does it.
hiding into the shadows.
Yeah, it's cool.
And he literally distracts some stormtroopers just like Ben Kenobi. Kiro's carrying Danny, then Dan shows up. He wants Danny, but Kiro will not let him have the baby girl. So they start to fight. They fall in the water. Danny calls after Kiro. Luke arrives. It looks like blood, or maybe they're just going deeper into the water and not coming up. I'm not sure exactly what we're supposed to think, but it doesn't tell us conclusively what happened.
I was so hyped during reading this, but it didn't end up working out because do you remember like issue or two ago he was like an Aquaman thing where he's like, man, I really wish that like water was a bigger feature on stuff.
Most planets.
And
Yeah.
he's like, hey, it's fine. Like you don't have to, it's fine. You're good. I like you. I'm Luke.
Yeah.
You're tight. And then here when they're fighting, and I thought he tackled him into the water, and I was like, I'm already like, I'm too hype. I'm like, I almost texted you guys. I was like, Davis was like just too much. He's a little overstimulated.
Right.
About how hype this was. I was like, you're fucked, Den. This guy's been killing people.
And it literally
you're done. And then it
goes nowhere.
There's no answers.
Yeah.
There's no nothing. And I was like,
Well, I think it is going to go somewhere eventually,
Oh,
but because you even see in the comic, you see somebody climb out of the water. You know one of them lived. You just don't know which one. In the background, you can see.
Yeah.
When they get there, Lumia's gone, and there's a single flower left by her chains, which is funny. And then Star Wars '98, the final one. It's like kind of like a one shot.
Completely different art style.
Yeah, this is-
completely different vibe.
This is
it's Al Williamson back, baby.
this is the fucking dunk on Nien Nub episode, and it's pretty funny.
Yes, dude.
But
Is that your interpretation? I read it the exact opposite
no,
way.
Han was dumping on Nien
yes.
Nub.
Yeah.
And Nien Nub totally proves himself in every way. Supply and demand, number 98.
It's another one where like Nien is just another all-time hero that like he just has less screen time, so we don't like think about it. But he's like,
Yeah, he's a hero of the rebellion.
He is. Han is at the starships, the shipyards of Fondor. The Falcon arrives much more chaotically than he prefers.
they start several issues in these last with this exact opening where somebody is there and it's a It's like the reveal is like whatever.
Han's just mad because Lando and Nien Nunb are not as gentle with the Falcon as he is, and he's pissed because Nien Nunb is going to be taking over for Chewie because Chewie's on Kashyyyk, like taking some R&R after he liberated it from slavery or something. So Han was supposed to be doing inspections while he's waiting for Leia, but Lando comes to relieve him. The princess is caught up in a conference, and he has to go on another mission because there's a supply problem on Vandalheim. So that's where they're going. So they go to Vandalheim. Han and Nien Nunb they decide to stop at a prison planet to pick up the venerated ones who are not like wizards or priests or something. It's actually like a teen and her kid, I guess.
Yeah, the little blonde kid.
But he's not her kid. He's just a kid, right?
They're the two remaining descendants of that bloodline.
But it's not mother and child. I think it's
right.
I think it's like teen and younger kid. I think.
I thought it was mother and child, but I think you're probably right.
I'm not 100 on that. Yeah.
Because I don't remember at all whether they were actually mother and child, but that's how they played
Spoilers.
each other.
You think about it but he like Han keeps referring it to like that kid, not your kid.
Right.
I don't know.
Spoilers, it doesn't matter at all. Guildmaster Orc has entered an Imperial ship to inform them that those brats are being sent back by the Alliance, which means that he won't be able to control anything anymore because his leverage is gone. Admiral Morder, which is a hilarious name, he says, destroy them. But he's like, no, I don't want anybody to find out that I'm hiding Imperials here. So that's the whole deal. Morder's like, I can make it look like it's the rebels' fault. And he's like,
his is the stupidest one because it just sounds like you're mispronouncing murder in a way that's like
Mordor.
not even that. Just a mortar is like it's like
Take
a
it
meme
up with-
version.
take it up with-
Motorize you.
Take it up with Tolkien, man. I'm just kidding. So the venerated ones are loving it. They're asking Han for like fun stuff. They like being on an adventure. They're like, holographic chess is boring. What's going on? And then they drop out of hyperspace into a asteroid minefield, and they're like, yeah, what the fuck?
I must stress that if you were to remove all the dialogue,
Yeah.
and just look at the different panels, it
Impossible.
seems like Han Solo, his wife, and kid go on an adventure together.
It really does.
Like if you remove the context,
It's
the
like,
way
is it
they
the
draw
second
it,
Wednesday of the month already. I gotta go get him.
it like feels like that. It's a wild. The art it's gorgeous, but the way they draw the three of them together, it seems like a happy family.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So they escape the minefield because Han's the best pilot, and Orc, the guildmaster, is like pissed because he thought they'd be dead by now. But Mortar's like, well, it's like a lot smaller, so you don't expect them to send dignitaries in the Millennium Falcon.
It's sick because I love when people do hyperspace shenanigans.
Yeah.
What are the ships called that like pull you out of it?
Interdictors.
Yeah.
Like the idea of using these like mines in the shield to like pull people out and just kill them is like spawn camping in the worst way. It's like savage.
It's super annoying in video games also. So they decide they're going to take some Imperials, take matters into their own hands. Falcon is through the asteroid field. Like I said, the kids are having a like great time, and they think Han is awesome now because he can fly. The Guildmaster receives his venerated ones. Han is none too pleased with the Falcon's rough arrival on Vandalheim and questions what's going on the planet, what's going on with the defenses. Orc tells Han they've been very busy with mining premium ore, but Han is like, so why are you keeping it on your drone barges instead of sending it to Fondor then? And he's like, oh, well, it's a compromise we made because they didn't want to trust anybody once they lost the hostages, and now we won't have to deal with that anymore, yada, yada, yada.
Honestly, it's such a convoluted.
Yeah. He says the metalsmiths of Vandalheim are superstitious, and these are their last descendants of the people who actually found the planet. So without them, they feel like they can't make metals, so they won't do it unless they're fine. And he doesn't believe in it because he's a guild master, and so it's all just kind of complicated, and there's a secret Imperial like plot going on, right?
Yeah.
So Han's ready to bounce. He decides he's made everyone happy. so he can herd the drone barges with materials to Fondor himself. But he says that first the venerated ones must bless the caravan. So Han's like, fucking fine. So they get on the Falcon. He orders Nien Nub to call some escorts. Then he sees that Nien Nub is being held at gunpoint by a stormtrooper, and then he finds out what the score is and that they're all going to Admiral Mortar to die. And then the superstitious metalsmiths will stop working, which will make the stuff in the barges worth more, and yada, yada, yada. So the mean kid bites him in the leg. Han shoots the stormtrooper. The kids are too close to Orc, so he just goes to lunge at him. He ends up hanging off the edge of a platform with Orc over him. The kid shoots Orc. Han is able to climb up Orc and throw Orc off the edge instead. And they all go back to the ship. Han overhears the walkie-talkies that the stormtroopers have that are ready to shoot them. But also he hears a gun safety click off. So he throws everybody down onto the ground, and Nien Nub just destroys everyone.
Bowcasts the shit out of them.
Saves them, gets everybody back on the Falcon. The Falcon gets the the Falcon shows up to the Imperial barge.
Dude,
they're like,
he should go. His little ass should go flying. He's like the gun lance riding thing.
The noisy cricket,
Jesus.
But he pulls up. They pull up in front of the barge, and they're like, "Hey, just so you know, your little stupid plan failed." So now Mordor tries to use the barge to lead the drones into the sun. So, like, there's more leverage there. But Han just takes the barge over. He lands on the barge. The troops get ready to take it over. He flies in, takes him down because he got out of the ship before the troops showed up to, like, stop him. So he, like, hid in the room, took the stormtroopers out while they ran in to try and take out the Falcon, which is a hilariously bad plan, kind of, in some ways. But now Mordor's the last guy alive who's Imperial. He's moving into the barge to seal the hatch behind him. He's about to destroy the control codes. Han shows up in the viewport in his spacesuit that he's in. He shoots through the glass. He's like, pirates don't care about hatches, you dumb bitch. And then everything gets sucked into space. He gets to the pilot chair. He enters the control codes. They don't work. He's worried about the barge. He's worried about his ship. He's worried about the kids. He's worried about the drones. Everything's going into the sun. Then Lando shows up, realizes he's in a tractor beam. All the barges are on the right track. The command codes were inputted remotely because the kids had them, but Han didn't know this, and everything's fine, and all is well, and the venerated ones are okay, and we're kind of on a little cliffhanger for next time.
This was like not where I wanted to go with it after how hype the other stuff was, but I love Al Williamson's art.
Yeah.
And it is good that finally Han got an issue to do his little like what is my point in this post-rebellion? There's a great part earlier on where, because he's like, I don't want fucking Nien. And then he's doing the thing where it's like, okay, well, be sure to do this. And he's like,
I already did it, bitch.
yeah. And he's like, all right, well, don't get cocky. And then he walks in the room. He's like, what the fuck? How is everyone better than me in my own fucking job?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, turns out, no, you still are what you were always best at, which is like
Flying.
Scrappy.
Yeah.
Like you're like Jack Sparrow, where it's like you don't have to be the best swordsman because you have the practical, you
live every time.
all of
Yeah.
it. You're better than everyone because you're like, this is a trap. Get through it. I'm not going to go in the back door. I'm going to go in the front door. So, and by the end, Nien just showed up like in every way that he needs. Guy, he was like there.
Duffed him. Came through, and you find out he has a weird body shape compared to what you think sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with Nien Nub.
Yeah.
We'll dig into his character more in about 3 years on the podcast, probably. I don't know when we're going to see him again.
Oh, Nien.
But that is where we stop halfway through the comic. So that's the end of part 1 of this episode. And I got to say, I'm still thinking about how close we're going to get to a completely direct handoff. Like, was it a zero surprise situation? Is it just going to be like 2 years pass and Luke's plan progresses a little further? I'm very interested to see.
This is all like heir to the Empire motivation for people is like
Masasi Temple, if that shows up, crazy. If Chiss show up, 100 times crazy.
No way they show up in this.
If clones show up, crazy. Those are the 3 things that I think
the Nagai to me are the Chiss. I don't know how else to be like. It's a guy. They like are humans, but a little bit off. They're from far away. They talk about poetry and romance and other
We'll
stuff.
See. We'll find out.
There's how many issues are left? 10?
This was 98. So there's 10 more, and one of them is from 2019.
So we're not all right. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, there's not much left. We're building to probably a Nagai based finale, if I had to guess, but we'll see. Also sounds similar to Nogri, which is interesting. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Next time we're going to read the second half of this. It goes all the way to the end, number 108 in the Marvel original years epic collections. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll be back very soon. And there's so little left. It's just this and some TV and a comic book. And then we go to the end of the season.
So close.
I can't believe
So
that.
close.
We're getting so close.
I know about this. I was like, all right, we'll get through it. It'll be better than the whatever. But I actually the concepts coming online and the 3 episodes where it was cooking. I'm like, I want to read more. I'm like,
I'm genuinely
We're
happy
gonna-
they brought back characters instead of introducing us to new stuff.
Yes.
It
Even though
feels
it's
like we're wrapping things up.
even though it's weird, it's the worst.
Iskalon, all that stuff sucks, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
But we're with Kiro now, it's he's tight and it kind of it's much more serious and real.
in a chill way.
I was excited to see Shira. I was like, okay, let's do this.
Her
Epic.
her
It's
reveal
kind of,
was a legit surprise. The revamp of her character is so sick. I'm like, hell yeah.
I like that she has the wires or whatever, weird circuit stuff on her neck. It looks cool.
She's very much
Luke's
the same thing as Darth Vader without being Darth Vader, which
Right.
is kind of fun.
Luke, that issue, Luke being surprised, losing, and then being all right, I'm gonna win. Both trying to do what he did with Flint and be hey, that way isn't work.
They got
the
their-
Dark
they-
Lord is not.
They
He wasn't that
definitely
guy
have their
at the
big boy
end.
pants on. No joke. No joke.
But she was no.
no, thank you.
And I'm glad she says no.
Yeah.
For
I-
reasons I will be quiet about.
I feel so glad that we got to.
Are you a smug boy?
I'm full smug when it comes to Shira Brie.
There's some serious stuff.
She's oh, he fucked up my body. I'm so scarred. I'm no. Look at Anakin Skywalker. That dude was nasty. You still are
Yeah, but Anakin was never hot.
Yeah. see?
Well,
He's
Shira
got
Brie
you there.
was hot.
He's got
so,
you there.
I get it. I'd be upset too.
sure.
We'll see you guys next time.
I guess
for
a
part
10
2.
to an 8. If you're a 10,
Yeah.
Because
like a
of how-
Cyber 8, it's tough.
because of how few people are up there, it is it feels like a much bigger.
What's
Yeah.
a king to a god? You know?
Damn. What's a god to a non-believer, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Kanye West.
Yeah, Kanye West, Jay-Z, 2012, baby. We got Jedi in Paris, and they're going bananas. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
The Star Wars Old Canon Book Club is made possible by contributions from our listeners at patreon.com/SWOCBC. Thank you for your support. This month's Patreon Masters of the Force are Ian Baronade, Trevor Isom, Patrick Rowland, Jazz Owl, Peacetime Mando, and Metroid Mike. Thanks for listening. We'll be back soon with a discussion about our next selection, Ewoks, Season 1, a television series from Paul Dini and Bob Caro. This episode was edited by Alex Del Campo and Alex Faciane. The theme song is Venus, the Bringer of Peace by Gustav Holst, performed by the U.S. Air Force Heritage of America Band. Original show art by Jackie Whistler. See you next time.